No, no, yeah, no, 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 yeah, no, 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 yeah, yeah, no, yeah, no, 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 yeah, no, no,
Go. Greg, what's my affliction? Since we're going to dive headfirst into this, is it?
I'm pretty sure your affliction was the fear of you having the King's disease for a month that kept it recurring. And you
I was
called
open
it
about that.
You called it an affliction.
Because it also could be a bunion.
Which you never got confirmed if it was or not.
No, because I didn't have insurance at that time, and so I didn't want to do it.
Damn, open enrollment not coming into effect yet.
No, I have stuff. I just have other stuff to do first.
That's a lot of stuff on your plate.
What's your insurance look like?
I'm not telling you my insurance information.
I don't want the information. What are we talking? You got dental?
Yes, I have dental.
How many
my
teeth
pearly
you
whites
got?
are 8. All of them. I still have one baby tooth, actually.
Did you really just say all of them?
Yes, all of them. Well,
I asked you how many teeth you have. You said all of them?
I can't remember how many teeth are in a human mouth. I'm sorry.
Count them. Not out loud. And don't use your tongue. Oh, don't use your finger. That's worse. That's so much worse. You don't have your wisdom teeth, I bet.
No, I don't.
Yeah, that's not all of them then.
Okay, good point. So I have
you lost
28. 28.
That's not normal.
What do you mean that's not normal?
Josh, can you do me a quick Google search for you on camera of what the normal average human has teeth-wise?
Now that I think about it, I think only 3 of my wisdom teeth were taken out. So technically I might have 29.
If you have an even number of teeth, and
32.
The average human has 32 teeth. What's up,
yes,
Greg?
So that's wisdom teeth.
Okay, but you have one still, and you only have 28 teeth.
No, so I have 29.
Don't correct me for saying what you fucking just said.
Hey, you're the one that's saying I have 28, but one wasn't taken out, so therefore.
Josh, you were listening, right?
Mm-hmm. I have
and
to.
And how many teeth did he say he had?
20 something. Yeah.
He said 28, and then he corrected me for saying that he had 4 wisdom teeth. So 29.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you had Greg, sort this shit out before the show starts.
I have 29. I have 29 teeth in my mouth. Okay, I'm a medical miracle because I had to make sure. I couldn't remember what the normal amount was. I knew I lost.
Wrong.
What do you mean I counted wrong?
You told us you had 28 teeth.
Yeah, because I counted.
What do you mean? Yeah.
7 on this side, 7 on that side, 7 down here, 7 down here.
But don't you have 29 teeth?
I forgot about the wisdom tooth that I still had. Okay.
Josh, you see this blender I'm in, right?
Yeah. Yep. But you know what? It's a lot better of a blender than the one you were talking about right before we came on air. So, pun intended.
Greg, I have a question about
that.
Other stuff. Do you use protection with your teeth?
Oh, great question, Derek.
With my teeth, yes, I do. I take care of my teeth very well.
No. Okay.
I didn't. Yeah. Do you have toothpaste in the house?
I do have toothpaste in the house.
He said he had 28 plus 1 wisdom tooth. No, he didn't, Dad. He said I have 28, and then later he said, "Oh, and I also have 1 wisdom tooth." He counted 28, and then he looked at us straight in the eye and said 28 teeth. This isn't like how many fingers do you have, Greg?
Oh,
technically 10, but thumbs aren't fingers, so 8.
Okay, but you see how you counted them all?
I held them up to display for the camera because
Also,
this
Dad,
for video
comment.
purposes. What?
No, my dad's texted me. He's not commenting. Josh, how's your day going? Let's dissect your life now.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I'm unemployed. And I now have to drink more beers than I'm comfortable drinking in one setting, especially after I drank 6 on air last week and was obliterated.
Yeah,
I was going to say last night. You cheating on us? What the hell?
No, last week he proudly looked up and said, "At least I did 6."
Yeah.
He said the month hasn't started yet, buckaroo. So, did we decide on 22 or 23?
23.
For everybody at home that's watching,
we decided on 23. Yeah.
Surprisingly, threw a football extremely well. Not saying that you can't throw a football well, Josh. I underestimated how far the person can throw a football, I think, on an average basis. But you threw a football very well. Kobe threw it 69 yards, I'm pretty sure.
At least.
And he was just like, "Josh, your ball."
He flooded basements all across Wyoming when he threw that ball. Trust me.
What's your strategy for this, Josh? You have 4 shows to drink 23 beers, and that is in itself an average of around 7.
And if you're worried at home, we made this really nice little ticker that you can see.
I'm so happy this is a thing. I'm so happy.
That will play for every single beer that I drink. So just give me
Came here to say that Josh drank all those beers last week and ate Taco Bell and had a great night. Yeah, you had some complications with Taco Bell, didn't you?
First off, where did you get this information from?
Our lucky commenters.
Yeah. They know what's up.
Denny wants a prediction for the Pens game too, which we can, if you want to dish that out, you can decide which comment you want to adjust first.
A lot of stuff being flooded into the chat. Apparently,
I did not have a good night. I was in some pain, abdominally and stomachically.
I'm gonna go back and watch it. He said, "Sorry, you wrong." No, I'm not.
I also would say that the Pittsburgh, it's just poetic that the Penguins are on the brink of elimination and Marc-Andre Fleury and Bill Guerin are the ones standing in their way. And the Wild still have something to play for, which is kind of a problem.
I was going to say, are they trying to get the wild card spot still? Or
the Wild are well locked in, but they're playing for seeding right now. They're playing for seeding, and Caprill the Thrill is back. I do not think the Penguins will win today.
For the record, while you guys were doing the important stuff, I went back and listened, and Greg said, I have 28. I have 28 teeth. And I said,
thank God.
Like, literally, I'm watching it again. Everyone at home can go back and watch it again. Greg clearly says he has 28. Because I said, you don't have your wisdom teeth. And he said, no, I don't. And I said, that's not all your teeth.
And then I forgot that one was kept in, so I have 29.
Yeah,
so
but my dad's telling me that you said you had 28 plus 1 the first time. This is the worst day of my life. Over under on Jimerson National Anthem, Josh.
Oh, you know what? It depends.
Over.
Is Jeff going to let the kids sing? Because if he lets it sing, it'll be over. But, yeah.
What's his normal line at, I wonder?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I would say a minute and a half.
Yeah, I mean, maybe? Jeff doesn't fuck around. He just gets
Yeah.
But when he lets everybody sing, it takes a little bit longer for sure.
Yeah, us normal folk are draws when it comes to singing. You know, like we try to extend it. We try to get
there before.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, that's
you
true.
Love singing, Greg.
Oh,
I mean, I would say compared to you, Deke, though, yeah, you love to sing even more than me.
Do you know what Greg really loves to sing?
What's that?
Mr. Brightside, when he's about 2 tequila shots and 6 beers deep.
Do you think you're going to sing that Monday?
More. First of all, Josh, that was like 4 tequila shots. Let's be real about that.
Was it 4? It was I don't know.
I remember. I remember because I bought a lot of tequila.
Okay, well there you go.
Yeah.
All right.
How's that song start, Greg?
Coming out of my cage and I'm doing just fine.
I don't think they say it. I think they sing it.
Oh, I gotta sing. I'm coming out of my cage and I've been doing just fine. There you go.
He just stood on stage with his eyes closed and did this the whole time. It was awesome.
No, that makes sense.
Screw you, I sang.
No, you did sing.
No, your body
motion
was awkward.
You
yeah.
just were like, coming out of my cage and I've been doing
What is that
just
move?
fine.
No, I was like directing the river guides who were also like there singing along with us too. Yeah.
The river guides.
River guides, yeah.
Derek,
were they actually there, Josh, or was he envisioning the river?
Oh no, they were there.
They were there.
They were there, and they were turned up.
Greg turned into Georgina, Land said.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay,
Thanks.
Let's crack these.
All right.
Beer number 1 of 23.
Are you going to be able to remember to like check off the counter as soon as you finish one, Josh?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What? I have a question, Josh, for you.
Yeah.
Are these regular cans? They're not pounders? Or are you going to be switching it up? Or okay, cool. I didn't know.
Correct.
Let's do this, and then I want to get into your game plan for the month.
Okay.
So 3, 2, 1, action. Greg, what are you drinking? Then I'll say what I'm drinking. Then Josh, because I have a lot of questions about Josh's tactics here.
I was a week off with the amount of Heineken Zeros I bought for Lent. So I ended up with this last week, the last show of Lenten season. I'm reverting to the oldie but goodie Liquid Death. Love it. Love it. And love the shirt, Josh. Thank you. By the way, how was the tea? You made some claims. You made some claims with the tea that I was very surprised by.
The peach tea kicked ass. The Armless Palmer kicks ass. And they are better than their sparkling water that is flavored.
Bo said it was not like tremendous. He said it was a good tea, but
Well,
I
yeah,
also
'cause
don't trust his.
Vo also
opinion.
takes a giant scoop of sugar and dumps it on his cereal in the morning because he's a child who has a child.
Which is
He's the only one here that's confirmed to have sex.
True.
that is unfortunately true.
I'm drinking the Bearded Iris Attention, please. It is their ale. I also have home style because I'm off work tomorrow, so I'm probably gonna get drunk.
Getting wild. I like it. Okay.
Masters Fridays, you just get them off. Is that how that works?
My buddy Nasty Burgers, the Taylor guy that I work with, worked with, like, I linked him up with my favorite brewery's guy that cooks their food, and they're making a pimento beer cheeseburger for tomorrow.
Oh,
yes.
We're gonna go there and watch the Masters and hang out. So Josh, you've said you will not be doing pounders, which I think is the smart move. What's your strategy? Is it all light beer? Do you have a beer in mind for the last one? What's going on this month in terms of your liver?
Yeah, so I decided not to do pounders because I know you, Derek, and I know that you would count the pounder as one beer, not two. So
I would too.
Who on God's green earth? Who picks this up and goes, "Well, this is two"? That's just wrong.
That's 1.5 at best.
No, it's one. It's one beer, Greg. This right here, guys.
Yeah,
one beer. No matter how much goes into it, it is one beer.
That's right.
All right.
It's just math.
Yeah, it is just math.
Yeah, but then you get into geometry and it fucks with you, and I'm not good with that. So
Listen, math, that's shapes
so
anyways, Josh.
we're sticking with regular size cans,
Yeah.
and I think so basically I need to drink 5 a show, and then the final show I need to drink 6 to make 23. So I think what's going to end up happening is we're going to stick with our friends at Coors PGH for the foreseeable future. What?
5 a show and then 6 is 5, 10, 15, 21.
yeah, that's 21.
Oh,
There's only 4 shows in this calendar month.
Yeah, so what's...
So today's 5. Next
Fucking
week's 10. 20th is... you're good because the 27th, Josh, is the draft.
And
which
that's a
I've-
long show anyway.
Well,
so
I guess, and we never even...
Oh, we should... No, I can't drink 23 beers in a day. Even with the NFL draft, I don't think I could drink 23 beers in a day. I could get really sloppy piss drunk at like 12 and be just in trouble.
well, I'm trying to think. So we could you could probably do
So how many do I need to do a show?
6
six
with
yeah,
1 5. You flipped the 6s and the 5s.
Fuck. Sorry, Anastasia.
a 6-pack a show. Damn.
We never talked. We never talked about what we're doing for the draft. I'm assuming you're not coming to Nashville, Josh.
Don't be so sure. No,
Well, that's
I would I'm probably moving like a week or 2 after that, so I don't think that's in the budget.
Okay.
No,
fair.
next
it's fine.
year-
We just literally never talked. Well, next year we're going to Detroit.
We are?
Yes, the
Fuck
draft is in
yeah.
Detroit next year. That'll be the first Thoughts on the Bench live from the draft.
Speak. We were gonna announce that on the draft show, man.
Greg,
What
hey,
the
can
heck?
I tell you something, Greg? Hey, my
What?
mom and Anastasia.
Mm.
Don't tell anyone.
Okay, cool.
Solved.
We'll cut this
Cool.
part out.
Yeah,
Greg.
go. What's up, Abby? What's up, Denny? Don't
Thank
tell
you.
anyone. Greg,
Don't
it's
tell anyone.
fine. Greg,
All right.
Greg, it's fine.
I know, but I had
Greg.
the image in my head, like
Greg,
we were
you
Well,
gonna
then
can
why
still
don't you
announce it.
share? Why don't you share the fucking image with the guy that makes the images?
because I'm sorry.
You know what I mean? Josh is right here. I'm right here. You don't
That's
even, I made a Barbie thing. You didn't even see it until 2 minutes before the show.
It was electric.
Well, I got
I'm gonna
Thank
I
you,
got
Josh.
the
Put
alert
it
on my phone.
house.
It was great.
I don't
Yeah.
want to talk to you, Greg. Josh, talk to Greg. I don't want to talk to him.
Okay, so
Pete's mad at me. What can I say?
so yeah, I'm gonna
Shut up,
drink
Greg.
Coors Light for at least a lot of these, but then as we and at least the last beer is going to be a 10%. I'm tempted to make
Ooh,
the
okay.
I thought it
entire.
was
I
gonna be.
love
I thought it
this.
was gonna be Peach Daylight.
I was gonna say, that'd be
I wish.
incredible.
Tough to
Um,
get. Yeah.
Tough to get. But I think
Ann says she's canceling the bet. Good luck.
yeah, she definitely is. So
I don't. I mean, does Lance have authority in this case? I don't know. She might. She
She's
might.
authority
good
over
point.
me. You
That's
fucking
good.
kidding
That's a
me?
fair point. That's a
My
fair
dad
point.
said,
You know,
"Piss off! I won't tell anybody." See,
thanks,
Greg.
Chip.
Okay.
By the way, Chip, I still haven't mowed my lawn yet, so don't ask.
In the
Okay.
defense of the situation, though, we don't talk about anything, Greg. We talk about stuff and then we never talk about it again. So me breaking the news right now needed to happen for us to even remember we were going to break it on the show
I'm
because you
gonna
don't
make
tell
a
us
note.
anything.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
exactly, Greg.
That's
I
fair.
wrote it down too in my head again.
Your head does have a gray pen and pencil, I will say.
Disagree with that. Cool. Let's get into the first topic here because we said we weren't going to spend 15 minutes on the intro.
Whoops.
What's up, video games?
Okay, so the Masters are happening, and that's why Derek is not going to go to work tomorrow. Woo!
Yeah, so I'm in first place in my Masters pool. Shout out to the Hog, Hovland, Rom, Bubba Watson sucks, but
Isn't
and then,
Bubba Watson like ancient?
so
Yeah.
he
Okay.
He's in his like late 40s, I think.
What's late 40?
45.
Okay, he's 44. You're wrong. So close. His birthday. Me and Bubba share a birthday. Did you guys know that? Me,
I did
didn't.
not.
Not till
Damn.
right now, this very second. Shut up, Bubba. Yeah, the Hog, Hovland, Rom, and Josh's guy Brooks, who is on the big live energy over
Yep.
here.
Dude, look
lead
at
7
you.
under.
Look at you getting the top 3 finishers of day 1 in your pool already. Like shit. That's impressive.
Me?
Yeah, you.
No, I have Hovland, Rom, Colin Morikawa, and Bubba Watson.
Oh, I thought when you said Brooks, like I thought you said like you had
No,
Brooks.
Brooks
Oh,
is
my bad.
just in the top 3. I'm
Got
transitioning
it.
from my personal life that doesn't matter in the show to actual stuff. I apologize.
That's true.
Were you guys able to watch the full day?
Yes.
I caught most of it. The morning stuff I missed a little bit, but I basically caught all the afternoon though.
Let's start with it, Josh, because you were texting the group about it. The up and down wave of Tiger Woods.
Oh, man. Like, I don't think that there's an athlete on this planet that has such a fan base, and even when you're not cheering for him, you're cheering for him, as Tiger. Like, your Twitter feed, the commentators, everything is like, how'd he miss that putt? Like when he was trying to hit it on the slope, it's like, he just doesn't have it, the leg. Like, I've never seen a more, like, polarizing figure in sports where literally everybody's fucking cheering for him.
Yeah, the tough thing is it's on an individual level. I don't
True.
like golf is so weird like that, but the success of a person is normally tied to an area of the world. So like we hate Tom Brady because
Right.
we hate New England, right?
Right.
So I think it's a really good point because with Tiger, we just genuinely want to see people that are good at stuff be good at stuff. I'm trying to think of tennis, but tennis isn't even that real big.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody wants certain people to do. I think we all wanted.
we all wanted Serena to win, like with her last
Right.
U.S. Open.
Right.
Yeah, that's probably like the closest thing. But in terms of like
A whole
individual
career.
sport, yeah, I don't see it. Like this is what makes Tiger so special. That's once in a generation that you see something like that. But watching him play, I do see as the day went on, Josh, kind of more what you were talking about. Like you could tell, like as he's playing, like he just doesn't. He just does. Yeah, he looks stiff. He looked like he was kind of like struggling to just do the simpler things. I mean, granted, for the most part, like his drives and his and hitting the greens, he was pretty good. It was the putting that screwed
his
him.
irons were somewhat trash ass a little bit there. Like his short game wasn't the worst thing ever. He saved himself here and there, but the driving, was a little hit or miss. I don't know, Josh. It was funny because you and I would text back and you would text and be like, "Oh no," and I would text and be like, "Yeah," and then you text me like, "Oh no."
Yeah.
And it was just this wave.
That's really what it was. Like he would hit a shot that was so bad, and then it was almost like instinct kicked in, and then he'd hit a shot that was so only Tiger can make that shot, and then he'd miss a 2-foot putt, and you'd be like, God, what the you were just on this wave of emotions, and then as he's in the same fucking group with the guy who's fucking leading the thing and was came out of the fucking what on 2 or 1 he eagled. There's just it was such contrast watching this legend that you're just wanting to do you're poking it with the stick, do something cool, and occasionally you would, but then you also have a guy who's having a career round, and you're like, shut up! I don't care about the floral pattern. Get this guy off my fucking screen.
My favorite thing I saw, which I meant to send you, Josh, and I forgot. It's Zaire Golf. Do you follow Zaire Golf on Instagram? Just a golf meme account. It was Hoagland after day one, and it was a picture of Jason Siegel in Forgetting Sarah Marshall. It said, "I wish I wasn't wearing this fucking shirt right now."
Oh my god.
I laughed. So I loved the shirt, but we brought it up. I only loved it because he was doing well.
Right.
If he was doing bad,
Right.
that would have been the worst shirt in history.
Also, is it illegal for them to switch shirts?
Hat like during a round.
Yeah. Because our boy needed to change his shirt bad. Like by the end of the round, he was sweating so bad he was basically wearing fucking
Facts.
see-through, and it did not look good.
I don't think there's. I think you kind of have to go through the full round, especially also with sponsorship stuff that you can see
True.
on some of that. So that's probably like that might be like a monetary issue right there with regards to it. But
Yeah, everything's just
I
what to
don't
wear
know.
at the Masters. I don't see anything about changing his shirt mid-round, but my guess would be probably a no-no for some
mean,
weird,
Yeah.
slightly racist Southern reason.
Our
I
boy
also
was
would
just in
imagine-
trouble.
I would also imagine too that most golfers don't bring an extra change of clothes for the next day or for the same round.
They
probably
don't, but their stylist does.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
go back and
Nike has someone for every person, basically.
Oh no, Nike has like a 4-day like set for them. Like I understand that,
Right.
but as a backup one for the day,
I'm
I
sure
can't
they
imagine
do.
that.
You're saying if they take that turn hot dog and get some ketchup on their shirt,
Yeah.
you don't think that Nike's prepared for that, Greg?
Yeah. They
I would have thought Nike would have like their own like super version of like a Tide stick and just like be ready to like get all that off like within the frame of reference. Like it's
I
just
like
something.
that that's where your brain went, whereas Josh and I were just like, change your shirt. And Greg's like,
Change
no,
shirt.
they're Nike. They have ketchup repellent.
Yeah,
clothing.
it's Nike.
That's
It's
part of
Nike.
the dry fit.
They got everything, man. Like I would have
Tides fit,
expected.
yeah.
Yeah, I bet you they have like just this like industrial strength, like I don't know what the fuck it is, like a washing detergent or something that they can just put on. It gets it off immediately. That no thing on the market can compare with.
Is the Masters logo the greatest logo in sports?
Yes. Next question.
You think it's better than some of the most iconic ones?
Well, what's
Like, we're
what's your
talking-
list?
I would
Lakers?
say. I would say brands, the Lakers up their logos. I don't know.
That's actually a good question because I was curious about like what would qualify as that, because if you included like team logos, sports logos, like
Everything.
championship or tournament stuff, like that's interesting then.
So, like, what I would say is it has to be somewhat historic. So we can't just add like Super Bowl 32 because it was high graphic and sexy, right?
okay.
Like, I don't know. Personally, one of my favorite in NBA is the Knicks. I think the Knicks logo.
Okay,
is
so
sick.
I think
You,
that's
the
where we
Red
have to draw the
Wings.
line, though, is our teams included, because then,
No.
like, obviously the Bulls logo trumps everybody.
I would say no because, like, I don't. For example, like the Packers are iconic, right? I think
Right.
the logo sucks.
Right. Okay.
Terribly.
Yeah.
So then,
And it's
Okay.
used in so many other teams as well. Which
Oh,
and real
yeah,
quick,
go ahead.
do personal ones count them? Because if we're
Great
doing
question.
personal, then the two that I would say right off the get
I got
are
one.
Jordan
Yeah.
and Arnold Palmer.
Yeah,
Yup.
I was gonna add
Good.
Nadal in there with the
Yeah.
bull.
Yeah,
Was
that's
it-
a
yeah.
that's a good one. Okay.
There's a couple that are quirky and weird, but yeah, you're right. Arnold Palmer's is iconic and great. Gary Norman, or Greg Norman, the shark.
Oh, the shark. Yeah,
Oh,
the shark.
it's so
the shark's great
cool,
too.
dude.
Mhm.
I don't know, Josh. Thoughts?
I think I'm gonna stick to like roughly what the idea is, right? So the Masters is an event; it's a place. So give me Madison Square Garden's logo. Maybe
know.
maybe this is ingrained in my head just because I've been there a
Yeah.
bunch. But like that logo with the archetype and like all that kind of stuff, Madison Square
Yeah.
Garden's logo.
That's a cool one.
It's I think it's really cool.
It's like
old.
iconically cool.
Yeah. And then does the NCAA logo count?
Sure.
Yes, to me, they all
I-
count.
I think the NCAA, particularly the March Madness when it's big and blue and like, I think I took it off my thing, but like the March Madness logo to me is iconic.
Denny says, drink faster, Josh. Beer's getting warm. Thoughts on the TW Tiger Woods logo? The TW Tiger Woods logo is only sick because it's Tiger Woods, in my opinion.
I have this very nice cooler bag from
I do.
Derek
love
and
that.
Yeah.
Greg. So my beer is cold. The mountains are blue,
Shout out
Denny.
to us, Greg. We knew that
Yeah.
Josh needed a little pick me up.
Mhm.
What about Nike?
So yeah, where's that?
That's an
like,
interesting one. Yeah.
Nike, Adidas,
Yeah.
Puma are all
The Olympic rings.
Ooh, I
The
like
Olympic
that.
rings is a great one. The Olympic rings are a great one, actually, now that I think about it.
So simple.
hmm I would be curious, would countries fall into play? Because like
Those
The
aren't
U.S.
sports.
well, I meant like they're like when they're represented, like
Oh.
like the U.S. or Hockey Canada, even with like the
Oh, the USA hockey logo
yes,
kicks
yes.
ass.
Mhm.
Tour de France.
Okay,
The R looks like a guy riding a bike.
actually Wimbledon's with like the two
Oh, yeah.
like tennis
Yeah,
rackets, like in
yeah.
the purple and green. That's cool. I like that.
I would say too, pretty much like the Yankees, the Red Sox, like those are iconic. The B, the NY.
Yeah.
Obviously the one that's on my hat, the Pittsburgh P, is pretty iconic, and maybe not as much tied to the baseball team anymore, but just that like, Bean's in trouble.
He's just whining. It's like he knows what happens. He's done this every Thursday for like a year, basically.
Because he knows he's not getting attention. That's why.
So I think out of all those logos, yeah, the Masters is the best.
Yeah. So so we know who's in the lead. Who do we like going forward?
So
Day.
I know. Yeah. First off, I wanted to point this out. Jason Day, I swear, had like a run 4 years ago where he was just winning everything and then just completely fell off the map.
His
Like,
mother
That happens
died.
a lot.
Okay. Yeah.
So he was
that
number
what it
one
was?
in
I
the
didn't
world,
know.
and I think his mom died. He had won 4 straight tournaments or something like that. And you can't ever say like there's a direct, because I'm sure he said there isn't a direct. It's just that's also the nature of golf, because Dustin Johnson was number 1 for like 2 straight years. But yeah, just for clarification there. But I'm with you. The only other thing, did you guys see that amateur?
Sam
Yeah,
Bennett.
Finished 4 under, I think.
Dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And does not
Yeah.
give a flying fuck about the lie of his ball,
No.
the course at all. He just fucking hammers the thing. It's electric.
By the way, have you guys been seeing them play the new 13 that like has been
Yes.
going on? I've seen dudes try to like take it, like try to be aggressive with that thing. Like Jordan Spieth had a shot that tried to bounce up and it just failed miserably in it. I'm all for like that new hole now to try to like see guys try to see them take chances.
And
That's
did you
a lot of fun.
did you see who did take a chance and fucking it wasn't even on his second shot, it was off the tee? Tony fucking Finau went over the trees.
He's
like
awesome.
Really?
gangster. He just
Wow.
He literally lined it up all the way on the right and just skied the
Just
fucking
ripped
thing.
it.
It was awesome. It was so cool.
There's
It was
also
like
that
when-
would be cool.
It was like when Bryson at Torrey Pines turned around and went over the lake.
yeah.
Do you remember that
yeah.
a couple of years ago?
Mm,
That
okay,
was the
yeah.
level of like swag that came out of that man's club. He was like, I bet you I can clear those trees.
Yeah. By the way, shout out to Finau for being the only one that's wearing Jordan 1s on a golf course, by the way. They look dope. Just saying.
Also,
He has
shout out
dunks on.
to Vanderbilt's Gordon Sargent, who has the Covenant School logo on his back. So that was cool.
And I
Ooh.
didn't realize that Cameron Young wears the MLB logo on his collar because he tries to no hit he doesn't want to get a bogey. Considers a bogey a hit. Fucking
That's
electric,
amazing.
crazy
That's
person.
amazing. Mhm.
I also, so moving forward, I like Jason Day a lot. I just think he finished really strong, and I'm a big fan of his. I like Hovland. The Hog looked elite
He
today.
did look really
Rom
good.
did too, Greg. I mean, I've
Dude.
given you shit for Rom in the past, but I think he changed his ways a lot, and I really like it.
Dude, he double bogeyed the first hole, and then it was basically like in a boxing match. He gets knocked with a lucky shot in the first round, wobbles, and then just spends the rest of the round just dominating his opponent. Like that was
Damn.
was impressive.
Greg, he didn't double bogey. He 4-putted.
oh,
it
he
wa-
4-putted.
It wasn't like he
thought
got in trouble. He 4-putted.
Yeah,
That's gross. That's what I do on a good hole. But that's still what
That's what Denny does, but he doesn't count the 3 putts.
Yeah.
Denny says Kepka wins it, and Scheffler makes a run to win it. I like Brooks. Josh, why do you love Brooks?
Solely because of the logo that's on the front of my bag here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think if I was gonna pick a golfer solely based on their game and the type of like player they are, it would be Colin Morikawa.
He's a surgeon. Yeah.
It's like he is so cerebral and so nasty. Like he just every shot he lines up, he legitimately thinks, "Oh yeah, I can do that." Like you know what I mean? So like I like Colin a lot. And Brooks is funny and on Pardon My Take all the time, so like that's something for me.
Yeah.
Also a lot of Max Homa on that podcast. But I think like when I watch Max Homa, I watch a guy who's afraid to be great a lot of the time. Like he's playing the best golf of his career coming into this. He's a favorite, and he just looks like he's actively choking. He's got like an AirPod in and shit. Like he's trying to get his head right.
He's doing an interview. Yeah.
He was doing an interview?
So during some holes, they give them an AirPod and they do interviews in between every shot. And they got him to do an interview after he birdied his first birdie on 12 or 14 or whatever. So they literally were like, Max, we finally got you. He's like, yeah, I'm only doing this interview because I just hit a birdie. And then he, I think, got par on the next hole. So they did that with Rory too. Going into it. They're doing while
that wasn't on the feed that I was watching. I was watching featured groups on ESPN Plus the whole time.
You're good. And then the only other thing I'll say about Brooks, I enjoy the fact that he's very transparent about why he went live because the conversation about wanting to win and all that stuff just isn't for anyone. And Brooks just won a live event last week. And it's just like I respect anybody that says, no, I'm going to get my bag because I'm not Tiger Woods, but I'm also going to play the majors and try to win those. Like, cool. Good for you.
Yep. Yeah. So first off, I'm not going to sleep on Scotty Scheffler either. Like he's only 3 back right now.
He won last year.
And also like some of his holes, like he was just getting very unlucky with some of his putts. And I think he'll correct that. Like if anyone can like figure that out, it'll be him. Spieth was having some nice drives, I thought, but then also just kind of kept getting in trouble in a couple of like the later rounds. Yeah, but I'm not ready to like give up on him just yet. But honestly, I'm going for my boy John Rahm. The fact that he just like recovered so quickly from that first hole is a testament to how good of a golfer he is. But
double on the first is crazy.
But I personally, I don't care if it's Brooks. I don't care if it's DJ. I would love if a live guy won the Masters.
So let me
so much.
So where do you put Rory then on your list, knowing that he has been the most vocal and wants to win this so that a live guy cannot?
So I was thinking about this coming into the tournament. That's why I sent you guys that text asking like who you guys are rooting for, because personally, I would love to see Rory get the career Grand Slam, especially after like that a few years ago when he was the best golfer in the world and then just completely plateaued. His personal life was
Nike
like
clubs.
Yeah, it just ruined him, and he's been like fully recovering ever since. As much as I would like to see Rory win it for the sake of completing the Grand Slam, what I love about this is that there's been so much, and it's not even been the players, I don't think. I think it's just been media or like fans that have been pushed the fact that like these live guys aren't as good because they're playing 54 holes, they're getting guaranteed money, there's no cut with how they do and stuff. But what I would love about this, if a live guy from a rival promotion ends up winning the most important major of the year, it is going to sound crazy, but I would compare this honestly to the Jets winning Super Bowl III.
Greg, if the live guys and the tour played one-on-one, who do you think wins? Because to me, it's live.
Ooh.
Not being facetious, not being a jerk off. What I am being is aware that the live took Bryson DeChambeau, Brooks, DJ. Like we're talking
Cameron
about
Smith. Phil.
Yeah,
I understand,
if they played a Ryder Cup, live and tour. So when you say that the media made us think the live guys aren't good, I don't agree with that. I think it made us think they're not competitive, which is fine. But the interviews came out that basically all the guys, are loving seeing each other. There's no bad blood there.
Right. That's what I mean. Yeah.
But okay. So who wins? To both of you, who wins that Ryder Cup, live versus tour?
That's what I'm thinking in my head because I can't remember who all is on the Live Tour versus PGA. So
Hang
going
on.
through in my head as well, like Patrick Reed also plays for Live, I'm pretty sure. So that's
Yeah, but
one.
fuck
Like
Patrick
Cam
Of course,
Reed.
Smith.
these
I
are
hate
by
that guy.
fucking ABC and not by who's the best fucking players.
There's world
Hang on,
rankings.
I got standings. Oh,
Do
these
the,
are
wait,
the
has
players.
I was gonna say has Live like officially like been? Are they getting world ranking like
No.
consideration now? No.
Oh,
That's bullshit.
they do?
I'm almost positive they do.
I didn't think they were getting points
Oh,
per tournament. There's some weird thing, Josh, that they're not getting like.
yeah,
the
they
same-
can't win the cup at the end of the year.
But there was something about their early. Long story short, Scotty's number one. Rory technically is number two. I'm on official world golf ranking.
Yeah, same.
Okay, cool. So
Okay.
John Rahm there at 3. Cantley, Homa,
Cam
Cam
Smith. He's
yeah.
Live. So there you go.
It just, and I get it.
Yeah. Okay. Like if you're looking like depth and like quality, like top heavy, like it's probably Live then. It's
Maybe
probably
not.
Live.
Maybe
Yeah,
Cameron Smith isn't.
I don't think he. Yeah, I'm looking at the same thing, Josh, because I thought he was.
I thought he was too, but I guess no. Yeah, he is. I see
He
him right
is.
here.
Yeah. Why? That's so. Where's everyone else? Maybe he
I
had
mean,
to have
Cameron
done
Smith's a
something to
fucking
get these
gangster.
points.
So
Agreed, but where's DJ and Brooks and Bright? They're not even
so
on this list,
because
right?
Cameron Smith. So I don't know when it resets, but Cameron Smith was the last of the big ones to join. If you remember,
He was.
So then he still has
was,
points in that. Oh no,
So-
Justin Johnson, number 69.
Oh well, then
So,
there you go.
but to your point, they left at a certain and had points,
right,
and then have now been getting
Right.
passed.
because he won the British Open
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
He looks like a drowned rat.
yeah, I love it. I love the hair. I love. He just does not look like
The
a
hair,
golfer.
the
and I'm
hair
all
is just
about
what like throws me off.
It's so
much.
bad. He's
He
got
looks
such
like he's
bad
from
hair.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
Like he aggressively looks like he's from here.
I was gonna say good old Alabama, but that's just for me.
So
guessing
Once you
on
get
how
south of West Virginia, everything's the same.
So let me get this straight. So you're going
Get it.
Koepka, DJ, Bryson. Are you putting Phil in this 5?
No, I
Doing
wouldn't put
Cameron
Phil in that
Smith, and then who's your 5th
Let me
from
pull up
Live?
the Live.
Because I don't know who Charles Howe, Peter.
Paul Casey, Bryson DeChambeau, Sergio Garcia. I would.
Oh, Garcia
he's-
would be a good one.
Dustin Johnson, Brooks Koepka, yeah, Mark Leisman, who used to be great, Graham McDowell, Phil Mickelson, Kevin Na, Louis Oosthuizen, big South African fan.
Yeah.
Ian Poulter, Patrick Reed. I fucking hate Patrick Reed.
I love
Cameron
Ian
Smith.
Poulter, but Ian Poulter's not a top golfer anymore.
No. I'm just naming like actual names.
The
that I
guys
think
that are
would
like
com-
on the Live
yeah.
right now.
So let's
and
go.
Bubba.
Let's go. Okay, so we're doing Brooksy, Bryson,
1-0.
DJ. Oh, let's fucking go. DJ, Cameron Smith, and who?
I put Patrick Reed. I
Patrick
put
Reed. Okay. Versus
Fucking hate Patrick Reed.
JT
I know you do,
Spieth,
but you have.
Scotty,
Colin Morikawa.
Colin, and who? Rory?
Yeah, throw him
Yeah.
in there.
That's a great
hell of a
matchup.
playoff.
That's a hell of a playoff. That's a hell of a. If you put that on as like the
The match.
yes, oh god, if you did a 5-on-5 match, that'd be incredible. If it
Yeah,
was
I don't
all.
think they ever will, but I would put a large amount of money on the Live guys.
I
There's
think
also
the
the
Live
sense
guys.
that the Live.
Go ahead.
Good. Okay, the Live guys to me, and tell me what you think about this, Josh, because you're a big like emotion in sports kind of guy. The Live guys for me would feel like they have more to prove than the tour
Sure.
guys. The tour guys, to me, would not really care. The Live guys would say, "Oh no, we left for a bag and we're better." The tour guys would be like, "Yeah, you left for a bag and you don't want to compete." The Live guys would get up in the morning saying, "We left for a large amount of money and we were better."
I think
There's a slight angle.
I think it would come down to Rory.
Okay,
He-
so Live.
He's well that Rory, yeah,
No, I'm saying
Right.
yeah.
exactly. But how much does Rory implore upon his fellow PGAers that this
You mean
matters?
implode? implode.
Well,
is what
or
you're
that.
looking for.
Yeah.
Barrowman says, "Who is this Live guy?" And we don't have that much time, so I'm going to give 2 minutes to describe it, and then we're going to switch topics. The Live is a Saudi-run league that took a bunch of the top players and paid them buku bucks to make them play on a different
Buku.
tour, like millions upon millions, and they get money. Like some of them are getting $500,000 for just showing up for their tournament and playing till the end of the weekend. It is a giant controversy. I would say go Google it because it's a big talking point for this weekend.
Or just go watch Full Swing on Netflix. Because
Facts.
they do
Yeah.
a great job of explaining what's going on and the impact it's going to have.
So then my comparison that I gave for a live guy winning the Masters, is that overblown then?
No, I think
No, I think
I
it's
think
very
it's
impactful.
a big deal. It's a
Can
really
I
big
ask-
deal.
Go ahead, Greg.
'Cause- So the mindset that I'm thinking is, so when the AFL first became a thing, one of the things that the owners were pushing for was they tried to get the top college
sick
prospects to come out early. That's how Joe Namath ended up being a New York Jet, was because he bypassed the draft and ended up just signing early and getting paid money from the get-go. Liv essentially kind of did the same thing, except they poached a lot of the top guys that wanted the money, and they started a rival league. So now there's animosity with that. But I guess the difference is that there was always still a little brother perception with the AFL, which I don't think there is that with Liv and
Well-
PGA. I think the general perception is, player wise they're pretty even, but it's just the idea that Liv, they don't
Yeah.
care as much.
Can I
which
present
think
to
is
you the
different.
solution?
Go ahead.
Oil. The Jets didn't have oil money. You know what I mean? We're talking about the USFL flying too close to the sun, except they have the money to fight the NFL. That's it. And Josh, you agree with that? Okay. One more question, and I know I'm the one that said no mania, but this brings up a question that I did have for the two of you that I'm just going to ask. Why
Go ahead.
was he allowed to be on Mania, Cody Rhodes? I'm so confused.
Oh, but he's been back for almost a year.
But why? Because he started AEW, right?
Yes.
Is he not there anymore?
Correct.
No, he's not.
So did he sell it?
Nope.
No, he was never an owner. He was just he was a talent, and he was a vice president. And when his contract was up, him
Wow.
and Tony Khan just couldn't agree on a deal, so he
Okay.
joined
That's-
WWE.
That's sick.
A little bit of overcomplicating it or undercomplicating it is like Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks, and Kenny Omega sought
Yeah.
funding from somebody to
Yes.
start a rival company.
That's what I thought.
Tony
okay, so Cody Rhodes,
Khan-
okay,
owns the company.
cool.
But
Thank
when
you.
they started the company, they gave special titles to Cody, Kenny, and the Young Bucks. So when Cody left AEW, it was a big deal. That was
Yeah.
like an earthquake kind of thing, especially because he's the reason AEW doesn't happen if Cody Rhodes doesn't leave and go to Ring of Honor. Like it just
Yeah.
doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
yes, the amount of emotion and holy shit that you're putting into it is
And
warranted.
confusion.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. But then also taking into account, it would be like if Hogan had a kid that left WWE, right? Or if Charlotte Flair left WWE.
Yeah, Archie Manning chooses the XFL.
Right, exactly.
That's a great one. That's a great one. Yes.
And
yes.
so
Cool.
yeah, it was a big fucking deal. And then for him to lose really put the smart marks up the fucking chimney sweep, because they were they did it on purpose. They're making a statement that he will never be good enough because he left, yada 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 yada.
Yep.
And then he
I
gets
meant to ask you guys in
F5
that
by Brock
pre-show.
by Brock Lesnar on Monday night.
Mhm.
Absolutely. All of this feels very familiar as a punishment, but we're not punishing the guy kind of thing. And then when you think about that Triple H is in charge and that he smashed Triple H's throne at the first All Out, there's a whole lot of fucking bullshit that we can get
a lot
into.
of backstory. Yeah.
But I don't think Cody would sign on to something that wouldn't. And obviously there's a large amount of money, and he has to do what's there. I get it, and I saw you guys talking about Vince taking over creative stuff, and I again don't want to over there.
Oh,
he
God,
he
don't
he
go
wouldn't
down that
not
rabbit
sign
hole.
into. Okay, never mind. Fuck it. What's the next topic, Josh?
I'm just saying, Dustin Johnson just signed for a bag. No? It's almost
Yeah,
the
but-
same thing.
Well, yeah,
It
but they're
is,
not.
it is,
The Liv
actually.
isn't writing a storyline to make him never be the guy. The Masters isn't.
I get
the only
that.
thing Masters is doing is not showing him on certain coverage.
You could not see Brooks today.
Yeah, dude, it was
He
tough.
tied the fucking leader. Was
You
playing
had to
great
go-
golf, and you
You
couldn't
had to go watch the actual TV
Wow.
coverage and not the ESPN coverage because they were.
My
hiding
God,
him.
I was not even thinking about that. Yeah, I
They
did.
hid the late guys.
I barely saw Brooks much. I only saw Phil like a handful of times too. Actually, that's crazy.
And you know what it was? It was featured groups. That's why the
Yeah.
featured groups. None of them
Mm.
involved a live guy.
Yep.
So I'm
Glad
gonna
you
be
caught that,
curious
Josh.
to see. I'm gonna be curious to see how CBS handles this then on Saturday and Sunday.
If Brooks
balls
is
and scrotum.
leading, like you can't. You can't ignore. Like,
You can't.
what are
No,
you gonna do?
you're absolutely right. Like he's gonna be in the final group if that's the case. You
Right.
can't ignore that.
right.
I hope they just have a blurry image over top.
Oh my
of
god,
him.
that'd be so funny.
Or they always position him behind like the "Be Quiet" sign or something.
Yes,
like,
exactly. Like the framing's really bad all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Slightly out
It's
of
like
focus.
it was like the thing that I said about Christian on the on
Yes,
the wrestling
yes.
about the blue dot over his face.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Yes, blurry faced Brooks Koepka during the Masters would be so much petty, and I'd be here for it if that's the case.
What do we got, Josh?
All right. The Pirates are red hot, and we need to acknowledge the fact that they're the best team in baseball. Because we
I've
need to
heard
say it
so many
now.
rumors
Because we
about
won't
it.
say it later. But let's say it right now.
Are we paying Reynolds? I saw Dre, I think, tossed around a number of a contract for an 8-year giant deal, but Dre also said that Jerry Jeudy was getting traded for Ramondre Stevenson. So I got to take it with a grain of salt.
Okay, so Dre is not wrong in the fact that there wasn't apparently an offer made for 8 years. Apparently, Reynolds did come down significantly compared to what he originally asked for. Like his team asked for like 130 mil, and the Bucks originally offered like only 90. So they upped it
And
to
he
in
started
the
the season by knocking the cover off the ball. That's
yeah. So they apparently like were in agreement on the money. It's in the hundreds of millions. So it would be the biggest contract. The holdup apparently is that his team is trying to ask for an opt-out clause in the contract after 4 years, I believe.
Okay. Well, that leads me to say so Bob Nutting is willing to pay money for an elite player. Finally, let's just set it right there. Let's set it right there. Is that a true statement today?
Here's the thing, though. That opt-out is like the scary part. So Brian Reynolds is asking for the opt-out.
Yes.
And the reason Reynolds is asking for the opt-out is because he's essentially saying like if he outperforms his contract, he wants to go on the open market and try to get more.
right.
But
Which he will.
that number, that $100 million contract is also a little misleading because apparently the way that the terms of the contract was going to be set up, it was going to be backloaded. So most of the money was going to come in the later part of that contract. So if that opt-out like comes in or something and either Brian or the Pirates decide that they don't want each other, like the Pirates might not end up paying as much as they would in that case.
Also, you use the term elite player. I would not go that far. I would say he's a good player.
Him and his wife live in Nashville.
Okay, well, there you go. I would say he's a good player. I think
Interesting.
he has potential to have a couple elite level seasons,
Gotcha.
but I would not say he's like we're not talking about Andrew McCutchen at his peak. We're not talking about Garrett Cole. We're not talking about Russell Martin when he was here. Like we're talking about a good player, which to your point, they have not kept before this either.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, look at Bell and Marte, and Polanco,
right.
and yeah, we can
Lambeau.
go down the list forever.
Yeah. So it's interesting. It's
Who's the white fielder down south? We traded for the pitcher Chris Archer.
Lambeau.
Oh, Austin Meadows.
Oh, Meadows. Yeah.
I hate that
Yeah.
guy.
Austin Meadows, yeah, he plays for the Tigers now. No, the one that pissed
If I
me.
saw him, I'd shake his hand so hard.
Yeah, the thing that pissed me off about that trade was Shane Baz, who's now in the Rays rotation.
Would the best team in baseball be the former Pirates team?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, it had that
Yes.
conversation
The
today.
number of guys that they've traded away would be absurd. Their rotation would be Jameson Taillon, Garrett Cole, and Joe Musgrove, who all three
And
of them have
Snell.
big contracts.
And
Just
2 out of
um,
the 3 of them have rings.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go into another question then. Would it behoove us to move a lot of this thought process and let Reynolds go and try to lock up Cruz, or do we believe Cruz was more a one-hit situation last year in his eliteness? Now, granted, his contract is in the thousands, like 100,000. It's not good for Cruz right now.
No, he's making a league minimum.
Yeah, so I guess my thought process goes: if we can't get Reynolds, is there justification to lock down Cruz, or is he already gone?
No. I would say that I would guarantee you they've probably tried to lock down Cruz because all small market teams do that. Like as soon as like one of their top prospects are ready to come up or they've played like a few years in Major League Baseball, they try to lock them down long-term right away because they're trying to add cost certainty instead of letting arbitration
100%.
dictate how much they're trying to make. Because arbitration, you can get like Shohei Ohtani was going through arbitration, I think, still, and he was getting like ridiculous like figures on some of that stuff before he got like even a small contract. So
Okay.
I would say that it was probably in their best interest. They probably did try to lock up Cruz at some point, but he just wasn't interested. So that's the case. First off, I'm not ready to say anything about him being like a one-hit wonder compared to last year. Like the dude's goal at the beginning of the year was to have a 30-30 season, which based on
my
how
goal was to have a six-pack last year, Greg. I mean, you got to do stuff to get your goal.
you probably
we're
have
also
like,
only like 6 or 7 games in. I mean,
Yeah, and this year just started. We're only 4 or 5 months in.
we're a quarter of the way through,
Yeah.
as Greg painfully pointed out.
Screw you, Greg.
That I've been
Josh,
unemployed
did you
for a
feel
quarter
that?
of the fucking
Did
year.
you feel that?
Oh,
You should-
man,
hey,
in my
good morning,
gut.
guys. We're a quarter of the way through the year.
I'm gonna be
Hey,
more
you
than
know
a
what?
quarter
No,
of a way before
do
I
you
get
know-
a fucking job, Greg.
oh
you know
my
why he's so excited about it? Because he got this networking
No,
event Monday. He's got this
No,
fucking
you know why I'm
networking
excited?
event.
No, you know why I'm
Networking
you know what? No, you know why I'm excited? Because certain things I look forward to during the year
Yeah,
are
like that
upcoming, like
networking event.
visiting one of my best friends at the end of this month. So sorry for
Greg,
being
I
happy.
swear, if you cancel on the draft to go visit Big Dave, I'm gonna kill you.
Which, by the way, in that group chat, when Josh mentioned Big Dave, I had to like withhold myself for a
Do you
second.
know
because
Big
that's all
Dave, Josh?
No, he hasn't met Big
But no,
Dave.
have we ever? Do you know the allure, the illusion of Big
the
Dave?
story, the history.
Well, so first off,
He wore a bed sheet freshman year and called himself Super Big Dave for Halloween.
that's electric.
I love Big Dave. Yeah,
I
he's
think
a
also
character.
you guys confused something. I know who Big Dave is, but I'm not referring to Big Dave. I was referring to
Yes,
Batista.
Yeah.
Okay, all
Yeah,
right.
so
cool, okay.
we got it, but
All
when
right.
you read Big Dave, you instantly think back
You
to
guys do. I know.
Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's something.
He's a character. We love him, but he's a character.
He's something. Anyways, back to the Ritz.
The Ritz.
I love the black. Yeah. What do you call them?
I don't know.
Buckos?
That's the first time I've heard that.
Back to
love
the
it.
Ritz. I love the all black uniforms.
Yes.
With
With
the scripted P.
Yes. And the gray ones with the scripted P.
The gray ones with the scripted P. I have a hat that's too small that 412 gave me that has that scripted P on it, and it's that gray color, and I wish I had this smaller.
That's sick.
I'd give it to you, Greg, but you'd be swimming.
It's well, what size is it?
I don't know. It's hat size.
I was gonna say I do
That's
not
what I
remember what
wanted.
my hat's. I don't remember what my hat size is anymore because I haven't bought a fitted hat in a
This
long
better
time.
come back as 7 3/8 because the number of hats I've sent this child since I started at Wyoming, like he gave me one hat back, which is of course banquet cord hat, which I love.
Which is a dope hat.
It's a
Yes,
dope
not
hat.
gonna lie.
say
Yes.
say 7 3/8 right now.
It's just slightly tight.
Say 7 3/8 right now.
How's the blood flow in your head right now? You okay?
No, 7.5.
It's too big for me.
Ah,
No,
big.
so the thing is, it's not that it's too small. It's that the other one I have is the perfect fit. So when I wear this one, I go,
Yeah, it's a little. You're like
just a
doing this
little.
the whole time. You're like
yeah,
pulling on
I'm
it.
always,
Yeah.
I'm always like, yeah. But I will
That's,
wear it the rest of the show.
My Cubs 2016 World Series hat. I can only wear when my hair is short. Like it's
Yes, yeah. No,
Little
I
full
have to
project.
get a buzz cut to fit. I remember I went and got a haircut one day specifically for this hat.
yeah, I believe.
I was
I
annoyed.
feel it.
that's awesome.
So let's talk
Specifically
about
for a hat.
So
That's
tell me about the
awesome.
Ritz, Derek.
yeah. So the Ritz, Brian Hayes overrated.
Yeah,
Because I remember 2 years ago, we thought this dude was the Queen's dick. You know what I mean?
The Queen's dick.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah,
also thought Josh Hayes was the Queen's dick.
Yeah, fair.
Or Josh Harrison, excuse me.
Yeah, so 2 years ago, he hits a home run against the Cubs and then gets injured in the next game. And then that offseason, he signs the biggest contract the Pirates ever offer, and then has kind of a down year offensively last year. This year, still early, but I'm not expecting much from him with regards to his offense. It's his glove that I care more about, honestly. Like he's everything I've read about him and everything I've seen, like metric wise, is he's a Gold Glove defensive like third baseman. So I have nothing wrong with
26.
Him as a 2 or 6 hitter is perfect. Right. Expecting him to put up like 30 homers a year, be like Nolan Arenado or something like that. That's just not like. That's not going to happen.
And he's got speed on the bags.
Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, something I completely forgot about with the new rules of baseball, like aside from the pitch clock, was also the bases being bigger. I read that stolen base attempts and successes have gone up 33% compared to last year.
I wonder what they are in Wilson Contreras, though.
It's
a good question.
Love the pitch clock.
Yes.
Welcome
and I noticed
to the
that.
dark side.
I never hated it.
I know.
I'm a massive baseball fan. No, but one thing I did notice was we were sitting at the Nashville Sounds game, and I looked. Greg, you wouldn't know what scouting looks like. Josh, you might know this. So I was at the Nashville Sounds game watching. Well, Joey Votto was there, so I had to go. Talk to
see
Joey.
if he was gonna make it back. Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's not. He's shit.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I did like your little buddy though, Josh or Greg. Whoever Luis
South
Ferrigno, whatever you said. Yeah. So I noticed the pitch clock, and my brain instantly went to, these poor guys also have to do that. And then I was like, nope, I'm an idiot. They've been doing that for like 5 years. This is where they test it. Like, nope, moron. Love the pitch clock. A 2-hour baseball game, on TV makes me go, I'd watch that.
Yep.
In person, I want 3.5 hours at PNC Park. On TV, 2 hours, perfect.
Well, but even still,
I'm curious how
that third hour you start to really think about your wallet. You're like, do I really want to get another beer for $15? Like,
well, here's the thing though, because I'm going to my first Pirate game I'm going to is this Tuesday against the Astros, because I'm not going to the home opener because prices are ridiculous. So
the best team in baseball.
I know, right? But game starts at 6:30 now, so. 2.5 hour baseball game. I'm done by 9. I can still get another beer at like one of the cheaper places, like outside the stadium. So that might be like the way to kind of circumvent that a little. And it would be like a normal time I get home from a baseball game anyway, because I would expect to get home like 10:30 anyway. So
agreed.
This would be the way to kind of make it up and stuff. So I'm curious to see how this goes.
The pitch clock has been awesome. There's no doubt. I still hold my opinion that when it affects a playoff game, we're going to be pissed.
Can I ask you what you mean based on what we've seen so far by effect?
An out, or I'm sorry, a player is going to reach the base who should not have, and that is going to dramatically impact the game. Whether that walks home a run or like that guy's the guy who ends up scoring, whatever it is, like it's going to be it will happen.
Would you be upset, just out of curiosity, if it's in a playoff game and a batter is taking too long to adjust his batting gloves?
Same difference.
And they call a strike on here.
Same difference.
Okay. So it's both ways for you. It's not anything with regards to like getting an extra ball or a guy like walking in a run or something like that. Like that's what you're referring to. Okay.
Are you excited to see it or scared to see it?
Scared.
Josh? I'm excited.
I like
chaos.
I can understand that. I can get like, there's a part of me that's like, yes, let the chaos flow. But then there's another part of me that loves playoff baseball so much and watching every pitch because it fucking matters. And then when one of the pitches gets decided because somebody wasn't in the box fast enough or didn't throw a pitch fast enough, fuck.
So I will say this. We're all adults.
True.
Are we?
Follow the very simple rules. Last night in the Dynasty League, I implemented a wheel of doom.
I'm
which
so
the-
happy.
The wheel
I'm
of doom
so happy.
drops a random player on their bench if a player is unable to does not knowingly start a full lineup to try to tank. That rule should never happen. We should never get a player should never have to get to first because a batter was fixing his glove or
Right.
something. We're adults. Let's sort it out.
Yeah, I get it.
We're
And
adults.
and like I've said before, a big part of this is PTSD from the first time
Yep.
a goal was called back in the NHL playoffs because of an offsides, or how Brett Hall won the fucking Stanley Cup by kicking the puck in the net. Like it's a
Yep.
lot of me having to do with my sport and not trusting people, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. So I fingers crossed, because I think,
I think that's fair.
I know it's. Go ahead.
I would hope that, especially from the first week of the season, I don't think we've seen too many instances that might
Sure.
have affected a game so far. So, Josh, I understand it, at least from that perspective. I'm more curious to see if, as the season goes on, if we see an instance of that occur, and then maybe that becomes a crackdown situation that teams are like, okay, fuck, we gotta pay attention to this so it doesn't screw us in the playoffs or something. But I don't think it'll come to that necessarily, because you would think after 6 months teams would be like, okay, we're used to this shit now.
You would think, but also why do certain guys choke when the lights are brightest? Same difference, right? You just it's a really especially think about a wild card game, Greg.
Cueto.
Where you get fucked. Yeah, if Cueto dropped the ball, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he wouldn't have time to drop it with the pitch clock. Greg.
No, true.
Actually, that would have been I don't even know if that would have been a ball that would have been a ball probably when he dropped the ball. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, I don't know. And that's kind of but that's ultimately what I'm afraid of. And I think, I don't know how much this applies to Derek. I think it probably does. Greg and I grew up with baseball being the sport. We were raised by our fathers on this sport. This is what you shared with your dad. I was lucky enough that I also shared it with my grandmother, and to see it possibly be tainted in the biggest moment because of a new rule would really be difficult.
What's up, Meech?
Hey, Meech.
I grew up with Chip, so we're pretty chill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
It's all good. What's up, Meech? Yeah, Demetrius Agurs in the chat. What's up, buddy? Okay. Any other baseball things you guys want to say before we move diddly dong here?
No, but
where the fuck is that catcher we took first overall, Greg?
Yeah,
What's he doing?
Greg.
He's
we
starting.
have a good catcher now. We took him first overall. We took him over Patrick Mahomes.
We did. He's starting in Double-A tonight.
We could have drafted
tomorrow.
Patrick Mahomes, Josh, for the record.
Okay.
We could. I mean, Greg, tell me I'm wrong. Could we not technically have drafted
We could have also had
Mahomes?
Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray's the one that I knew for sure. I didn't remember Patrick Mahomes was drafted.
I'm not drafting Russell Wilson, not even in a fire.
I watched a Peyton's Places episode that actually had Russell Wilson talking about being a two-sport athlete and stuff, and I roll my eyes.
Be good at
every
one
time.
sport first, and then we'll talk.
Yeah, I'm just watching that episode, and I'm just I want to punch this dude in the face so bad.
Derek,
so bad.
Josh,
Derek
full
didn't
circle.
cheer for fucking Russell Wilson for the past 10 years as a fucking Seahawk. You
Hate him.
fucking me? Get the fuck out of here.
The second he left that city, I hate him.
Okay, that's fine.
He's a giant bag
Meech,
of poop.
my current goal right now is to play through all of the Pokemons in order. So, wish me
How
luck.
far along are you, just out of curiosity?
I'm
'Cause we haven't
almost
asked
done
you
with
that
Blue.
progress.
I'm almost done with Blue.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
But we need to take a commercial break, because when we come back, we're going to
gotta
talk
pee.
about the national champions, and then we're going to play a game that the running backs decide. So we'll be right back after these messages.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Vault, the weekly show from Thoughts from the Bench that takes a look back at some of the best and worst sports jerseys of all time.
So, I looked up what a Canuck was. Ben, you're gonna shit yourself. What a fucking silly country.
Here comes
Wow.
the Crimson Chin.
No. You sound like the John Candy in a
Yeah, that's-
fucking snapshot.
That's Uncle Buck.
I have an irrational fear of alligators and crocodiles. I hate them.
Wait, what? Of like, okay, this school who looks like they're in High School Musical just came and balled out. So yeah, they're not drinking Gatorade or water on the sidelines. They just got bottles of Barbicide and they're just fucking tanking them down, dude. Like that guy who's gone and said, "Okay, where's the keg at?" You know, like that type of guy.
Yeah.
Like
He's a glue guy. He's a glue guy.
Okay, he's a glue guy.
I want to show off the human goose that is Mike Glennon.
Oh my god, he is a goose.
They're like mom jeans with the elastic on top. Like, I don't...
I'm okay. I'm okay. He's a man of the people. He's in with the students at games and sporting events. He's posing with the frat boys. He's getting pumped up, literally and metaphorically speaking, for every event. He is Dartmouth.
What?
That was really funny.
Football's the mitochondria, which is the powerhouse of the cell.
JJ Watt, bring it
Golgi
on over,
apparatus.
pal. Bring it on over. Golgi apparatus, Golgi bodies, endoplasmic reticulum. I'm just naming off science shit now.
Hi, I'm Josh. I like pizza. Do you like pizza?
When the moon heats your eyes like a big pizza pie.
We've let it coagulate. Show Greg. King of coagulation there.
Coagulation is key.
Homemade Greek ranch.
Do you like watching people eat pizza? Help me, because I'm on the quest to find the best pizza in Pittsburgh.
Hand-forged pizza. Vici. That's amore.
Make sure you're sending in your recommendations for the best pizza in Pittsburgh, because I'm gonna go, I'm gonna try it, I'm gonna hold it to my standards.
It's the aftertaste is the barf. It's where the barf comes in.
I agree. It's bomb pizza.
Can your favorite pizza place pass the test? Find out.
Gentlemen,
we are
go
back.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I gotta point something out that my brother,
I like that all three of us.
my brother randomly texted me while we were still doing the show earlier, and he says to me, "Gonna say something you might find controversial, but here goes. Liquid Death Seltzer is mid as fuck.
Define seltzer.
The flavored seltzer, you know,
Yeah,
like the
I think that's fair.
The mango chainsaw, the berry,
Yeah, but they're not alcoholic.
They are not. No.
Is it weird that I think seltzer is instantly an alcoholic beverage right now?
No, because
You know what I mean?
I honestly would too. Like for me, if it's non-alcoholic, I would call it just sparkling water.
Right.
That's how I would tell the difference. Yeah.
Yes.
I think Gil used the wrong term, actually, now that you say that.
You know what? That's a very valid point. My brother does not know the difference between seltzers and sparkling waters.
So
I'm gonna
really,
call him out for it.
Gil is the alcoholic here, not Derek and I.
I mean that's obvious.
You can tell by his stupid Gil face.
Fuck. Do you know what he lives with? Jeez.
I love Gil. So, anyways,
wow, Greg, you're not
Sorry.
even drinking.
Sorry, being
That's
honest.
in his
all right.
defense.
We're gonna have to actually cut that.
I don't
He
think
doesn't
so.
listen. He doesn't listen. Don't worry about it.
But you yelled at me about the show release stuff, Greg. We need to have a conversation.
Anyway,
I haven't watched March Madness since Anthony Davis in the tournament. You missed a good year, and by good year, I mean a fucking weird year, man. I don't know if I loved this year or hated it, but Uconn wins in absolutely commanding fashion, and I don't think that game it got within 6, which to me was the closest that I saw.
and that was
since
like
the 0-0
UConn.
mark, and I think
UConn
that
took their fucking foot off the gas pedal at that point too.
Can we just admit that after
I'm sorry, I
as
talked
excited that we get about the upsets and all that with March Madness, the downside of it is that the Final Four just is kind of.
I don't agree with that.
I disagree because our top 4 teams were ass titties, Greg. This was a terrible year for college basketball.
Wow.
Purdue frauds, absolutely terrible. I had Texas Bama in the final. They were going to be okay. All of the Blue Bloods were atrocious this year. I don't genuinely believe Duke and UNC was even worth watching for the first time in the history of the sport.
So hang on, I want to unpack that real quick. So yes, that is fair that this has been one of the weirder years of college basketball, but that's interesting that you would say that it's one of the worst because because the thing that I'm fascinated by with the fact that there were so many changes in the top 25 and we had so many new number ones every single week.
Right.
Okay.
I would argue that's something to be said about how crazy the parity was this year in college basketball.
Yeah, but I don't think parity is a direct descendant of excitement. You know what I mean? I think that there's two things that make me lead to my assumption that this was a bad year for college basketball. First being too much change. And what I mean by too much change is that there was a top team and they lost and a top team and lost. And it was never the Blue Bloods, the good programs. But in parallel with that, Greg, the Blue Bloods, the good programs, none of them had top guys. There was not a single guy this year that played basketball that I said he could be the first overall pick. Granted, this is the Victor Wembanyama year. I'm very well aware of that.
Year, yes.
But you have to understand that Brandon Miller out of Alabama is considered the best prospect in March Madness.
And he's
going to go in the top 5.
Yeah.
But he's not, none of these guys, Greg, like literally there's not a single name you can say rose their draft stock significantly due to March Madness, other than me saying the short guy from Kansas State. And the fact that I'm saying the short guy from Kansas State means that it wasn't that great on an individual level in a sport driven truly by storylines.
Fair. I would counter with that, though, is that
good luck.
When you started watching college basketball, though, did you start like getting like, when you were watching college basketball, was it all about the NBA prospects that gravitated your way, or was it the teams?
It was about the teams, but Greg, the teams had players. The first final, like March Madness, I watched start to finish. Frank Kaminsky, Sam Decker at Wisconsin, Duke, Jahlil Okafor, Tyus Jones, Grayson Allen.
Yeah.
All those guys. And what I mean start to finish, like I genuinely had investment. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like I knew the guys. I knew the teams. I watched mid-season. That was the first year that I was gassed about it. All of those guys, Greg, are in the league and are names that I love and are names in storylines. And by storylines, it's the one and done school versus Wisconsin, who just came off a massive win against undefeated Kentucky, who was going for a perfect. Those storylines completely invisible this year.
And Kentucky was loaded.
Yes, 100%.
Yes,
that was the
loaded.
greatest Kentucky team we've probably seen. There was not a storyline this year that I fell in love with, other than maybe UConn, who got counted out and blah 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 blah. But
they weren't. They had a bad January. They had 4 bad games. And that was about
exactly.
No. And granted, I would say part of that is to do with the fact that there's now multiple options for guys who are prospects to go now. Like we're never going to get in terms of depth and potential pro prospects in the NCAA ever again. Now that we have overseas, and now that we have Overtime Elite, and now that we have the G League, and we have just all these other avenues that guys can go to get themselves ready for the NBA and get paid and be able to do all this stuff, even though NIL should help a little bit to a degree, but it's going to be so hard to get guys that are probably going to be one and dones to play college basketball. It really is going to be that to a degree.
But then you are somewhat agreeing with me that the storylines are dying down, which at its purest form is, other than winning money, why we watch March Madness.
Dying down, yes, but my counter to that though is because of the fact that there was a lot of parity, and because of the fact teams like out of nowhere surprise you, you would think that would add more excitement to it. But I think college basketball relies so much on those blue bloods and those storied programs to be a catalyst to drive that moving forward, that may be where it hurt. I think it's fun to have the upsets. It's fun to have a Florida Atlantic. It's fun to have like the San Diego States in there. But I think you need like name brand identities also included with there to at least get the eyeballs attached to it and for people to pay attention to it. So that's the problem.
Ed Davis. Yeah.
Ja Morant.
Right.
These names of secondary school icons that rose themselves through the ranks. The complete opposite of what Ben Simmons did because he fucking sucks at basketball. They rose themselves through the ranks at these secondary schools.
Yes.
That to me, even a guy like Kawhi, Peyton Silva, who played at Louisville, who went G League and didn't even do anything.
I hated
Those
Peyton
names,
Silva.
Greg. Those
Thank you for
Aaron
that.
Kraft at Ohio State, Josh. I know that name brings back nightmares for you. The little white point guard.
Yeah.
Those names mean so much. Zach Ivy. He's
just
just
a tall guy
with big eyebrows.
Zach
He's
Edey.
just a tall guy.
Edey.
I don't even
Okay,
care.
all right.
That's the best part. But the fact that they're just genuinely, to me, was not a single storyline of an individual player I cared about,
Other
and
than
maybe
Marquise
that's on
Noel.
me. Yeah,
And then
fair.
it flamed out.
Exactly, and like
Right.
you know what? Maybe
Zach
that's
Edey
on
flamed
me.
out. Yeah. I think, okay, so
Yeah,
I think we are in a transition with college basketball.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
With NIL and the transfer portal, I think we are going to eventually settle back to what Derek's talking about, but I think it might take a year or two for the dust to settle. Here's why I bring that up. This is not specific to Wyoming, but this is the fact that I have inside knowledge on this. Wyoming has lost every single starter from this year and the previous year. They have nobody. They are restarting their roster with 3 players. Okay?
Mhm.
One of these kids ended up at DePaul. One of them ended up at Wisconsin. One of them will probably end up at a Power 5, and one of them will probably be like a GCU or something like that. That has changed the game. And that's exactly how UConn won this, was not by having a bunch of one-and-dones, but by getting the best players from small programs to transfer there and be role players.
That's fair.
And that's
I would also point out real quick. Miami got to the Final Four with a team that was exactly the same from the previous year.
Yeah.
They had
Right.
no guys transfer out. So that in and of itself is very hard to do.
And that'll be the question. Can you keep FAU together, right? Or how about the fact that the Kansas State that we were just talking about, none of those players were on that team 2 years before. So we're in this weird, like, let the dust settle, let it kind of figure itself out, and then let's decide if college basketball sucks again.
Why would a player with Bronny's talent, with not a dad who's LeBron, ever choose college? You can. I mean, let me explain it this way.
I don't have a
You can
reason
absolutely do an NIL deal in the G League. It's
Right.
just not called an NIL deal.
It's just
right.
It's just called money.
Just a deal.
You're just getting paid to play, yeah, essentially.
So, and you're getting paid for sponsorships and branding and that type of stuff,
Right.
Greg. When you talk about, and for me, it comes down to 2 names. This is the division in college basketball: LaMelo Ball, Zion Williamson.
Right.
To me, genuinely, those are the 2 perfect scenarios. The problem is LaMelo's case will always stand true. You can always pull a Brandon Jennings. You can always go overseas, Emmanuel Mudiay, and play for a year and make money. This one, the Zion Williamson going to Duke and blowing out his shoe and almost tearing his ACL, that one is dying.
Yeah.
Even with NIL, because the NIL money truly is, it's great, it's tremendous. It's football driven. There's no track stars getting NIL.
Right.
There's no tennis stars getting NIL. Basketball in itself, with a lack of storylines and large names, is not able to toss around NIL money worthy of an overseas contract on a 1 year, or the G League's able to provide. That's why March Madness to me will always be there, but it'll never be the same.
So here's where I'm going to counter that. I think what this opens up is a chance for more Drew Timmies, a chance for more Zach Edeys, where they're there for 4 years. They may never play in the league, or they're whatever, Hakeem Han, fuck that all up. Hawkes or Tiger Williams. Like, I think that's what we're going to start to see, is that these teams are going to get these guys, they're going to develop them, and then after 4 or 5 years, they're going to graduate. And yeah, they may have gotten some money in their pocket over that time, but I think that's what college basketball is going to shift back to, is 4-year guys. And the way they keep a Drew Timme is by paying him.
that product is going to suck. I would rather watch Kyrie Irving, Zion Williamson, all these one. I almost would rather watch Ben Simmons, but he sucks, so I wouldn't. I would rather watch talent than a development of a white guy who's 6'8", who never has a prayer of making the league, but is just a good, hard-nosed student.
Well,
that product's going to be trash.
So go ahead, Greg.
I don't know about that, Deke, because I
Give
can
me
make
names
the
of
case.
guys that are in that realm.
Well,
I guess.
well, here's what I'll say though: is that in the early 2000s, that essentially was college basketball. Like most top guys.
Greg, we're in a very different world, buddy.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is that most guys who were top prospects and were ready for the NBA out of high school were going out of high school. They weren't going to college and, like having some of these moments that you would get, like LeBron or
Kevin Garnett.
Kevin Garnett is probably like the first like true one that I could think of in that regard. So
Kwame Brown.
Yeah, don't get me started on Kwame Brown.
But
yes, I'm aware. Yeah, so like that is what college basketball was. Like they were guys that like developed together and like built a team together. And like if you had the right guys and stuff, and they came up together and they won together, that's how programs were built. Like you could argue Duke was set up that way for the longest time. They
100%.
built their program on guys that came in together, developed together, and became that championship tradition that they were. I mean, I started watching college basketball when North Carolina won a national title with 4 seniors, and all 4 of them ended up going in the top in the lottery, which is extremely rare to have happen. So I think that's what college basketball is slowly turning back to. The difference, though, is what Josh is pointing out to, is that because of the transfer portal in itself is now free agency in college basketball.
100%.
Like that's where every small school is going to get rated, where college basketball is now set up to the point where it is a true development system. You can be extremely under-recruited and play for a team in the Horizon League, but if you have the measurables, you're putting up numbers, you have a good percentage three-point shooting-wise, a bigger school is going to take advantage of you, and you're going to get a bigger spotlight. So
the problem with that, though, is 2 things. One, do we all agree that a college degree means virtually nothing compared to in the 2000s?
Yes.
We can sit here and agree that these players that are sitting there for 3 years.
Yeah, we all went to bullshit schools. Yeah.
Yes, we all aggressively went to.
Yeah.
So a college degree is extremely less enticing than it was.
Right.
So we can agree on that. 2, the other thing we can agree on is that genuinely, at its purest form, the NBA will always get the best talent.
Correct. Oh, for sure. Yes.
The power structure of the way that talent gets there is shifting into a place where straight to the league will probably be some kind of venture, but the G League overseas, there's no reason, based on the honestly decrease of the value of a college degree, any top prospect should go to college. Genuinely, college prospects, in my opinion, should pull somewhat a college football. And Josh, we've talked about this. A lot of college football players do take off. Jadeveon Clowney take off their last year to just train for the pros.
Yeah. Mike,
that's something that's going to happen.
The why is his last name escaping me?
Parsons, Micah Parsons.
Yes, thank you. I mean, prime example. He was dominant at Penn State, elected to not come back his senior year.
Yep.
And now is one of the best, if not like player of the year or defensive player of the year fucking candidate.
Yes, very much so. And you look at the names. Who is, in your guys' opinion, the last great 4-year starter for a college? To me, I'm skipping Kaminsky. I'm going straight to JJ Redick. I just am, because Greg, the other thing is, you mentioned that UNC team had 4 of the top 5 picks.
4 lottery picks, yeah. 4 lottery
I
picks,
sit here and I promise you guys, I will do a case race by myself if this comes true. A 4-year starter, aside from an absolute miracle run in March Madness, will not be taken in the lottery. The same reason that Hendon Hooker, if he was healthy right now, still would probably not be a first-round pick.
no matter how much
matters.
Ray says otherwise.
It matters, man. Being a 4-year starter in college, and I know we talk about development in the league. Jalen Green coming out and being a dog. These young guys, the balls, like that time matters, and the league is getting younger.
Right,
They're
you're
not
losing
gonna care
prime
about
years.
Yes.
Yep, just
What
like
kind
hockey.
of what's kind of scary to think about
100%.
too, and I was curious with this. There's a lot of like freshmen that are drafted out of the NBA, obviously, because it's 19 to get in. There's a lot of players, for the most part, that take maybe 3 to 4 years to truly acclimate in the NBA nowadays, which is kind of the equivalent of
Cade
college
Cunningham,
basketball.
Jalen Green, almost.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question, Greg? Our favorite guy right now, Anthony Edwards.
Love Ant,
If he was a freshman coming into Georgia this next year, I would almost bet my house that I don't own a house that he would have gone to the G League instead. Georgia didn't even make the tournament.
That's true, yeah.
You know what? Ben Simmons, there's no chance Ben Simmons goes to LSU if the G League is as dumb as it is at this second in time. It just, I don't see it. And I trust you guys in your opinions that it will get back to storyline driven basketball. I don't believe that it's going to be a product I care about that's in those stories.
Well, I think that's the difference.
Okay.
Because I care about watching my school or a school I like
Yes.
build
very
the
much so.
program, come to a peak, just like we do in pro sports, right? Like the Thunder are going to be great in 3
Tyler
years,
Hansbrough is a good answer,
4
Sid.
years, right? So like that's kind of what we're building towards, right? Is those peaks and valleys, and also the coaches who can recruit and keep a kid for 4 fucking years is going to be like when Dan Hurley gets a true freshman and keeps him till he's a super senior and they win a national championship together, like that's going to be an amazing story for me to watch. And I think to help your point, Derek, Grayson Allen and Pat Connaughton played 4 years at their respective schools, and the highest they were picked, Pat Connaughton was picked 11th. Oh, yeah. No,
Yes.
41st overall. He was in the second round.
Okay.
Grayson Allen was picked 21st overall.
I think Hansborough might be, and Sid brought it up, the last like good 4 year, and good is like an annoying overstatement. I hate him there, but yes, true. I mean, technically, I believe Brandon Miller's
But
a
it's
4
Tyler
year, right?
Hansborough, but I think that even backs your shit up even more. Tyler Hansborough is not really like a dude.
No,
Yeah.
but he was the last.
He was in
like,
college.
He was in
the
college,
last-
yes. So he was picked 13th overall.
No, Brandon Miller's a rookie. What is, or not a rookie, but
And
you know
he
what I mean.
did
A
play.
one
He
and
played 4 years at UNC.
Yeah, no, he's the true. I think he's the true last like big
Pens up
4-year.
2-0. We're
done.
alive.
Nice.
The
But it
best-
also goes back to Greg, like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, UCLA. We did the quiz. God. You look at Ralph Sampson at Virginia. God. Patrick Ewing at Georgetown. God. Tim Duck, like Christian
Even
Laettner.
Zion at Duke. That March Madness run, he was a man playing a child's game.
So he was. What I was saying was 4 year guys.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I fucked
You're
that up.
good. You're good.
That's okay.
That press is almost back to my point. And I brought up the Duke shoe blowing out, Josh, for that exact reason. Could you imagine right then and there if a shoe blowout in a college game where Zion wasn't getting paid ruined his career? Granted, he's been injury prone and chubby, but aren't we all? So it aggravates me that this is the product we're now getting due to the kind of landscape of it.
Right.
I just ask you, gentlemen, to put aside your Pitt and Penn State, Wyoming, Rutgers, South Florida. Am I missing anyone, Josh?
I think that's all of them.
Okay, cool. Put aside your fandom, gentlemen, and sit with me to enjoy a product for what it is, and it's just not there anymore.
That's fair. I think
Wisconsin
we have to.
now because of that one guy you tweeted about.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Noah Reynolds.
We have to get past our stigma of while we love college basketball and we support our teams, there's not necessarily a connection to guys that are going to be pros with it anymore. Like we're never gonna see.
But that's the only reason I watch, and I'm an outlier, I think.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to say you're an outlier. I think I would imagine, by the way, if G League Ignite and overseas elite games were like, or overtime elite or whatever, like the other side was like easily watchable or like on like a bigger platform and stuff, I would imagine more people would watch them too. If G League Ignite games were always on ESPN primetime or something like that, compared to like Big Ten basketball or something, I guarantee you more people would watch it simply for the fact of you were seeing the next great NBA guys in front of us.
And it ties back, Greg, to my point that this year, Duke UNC was terrible.
Correct.
That's the game. That's Austin Rivers banging that three. That's Coach K losing to UNC in the tournament. When that matchup is trash, I don't even want to watch any college basketball because that's the premiere.
So Duke UNC is like your barometer to determine like if it's a good season or not.
But I mean, for a common fan, he's absolutely correct. Those are the names. UConn is a name too, but UConn killed everybody. They won every game by fucking double digits.
Multiple. I made over $100 betting on UConn.
I get it. No, like compared to Final Fours year over year, nothing is going to come close to Duke UNC playing in the Final Four the previous year. Like that is going.
But that's not the point, Greg. The point is that they were so bad this year.
Right.
The Duke UNC game was not even promoted this year.
They didn't hit the over.
It was a terrible
game. That one surprises me.
The number one ride or die. Watch this game. They hate each other, and they have the best guys game. Was terrible.
It's supposed to be. That's what it's supposed to be. Yeah.
Yes. Perfectly put, Josh. Because that's the thing is they're supposed to get the guys.
Well, here's the thing I'm also curious about too is that if we're pushing the idea to with a lot of NBA level talent that are choosing their development paths, college, like, yes, you're not necessarily getting paid to play, but you have NIL, so that kind of supplants it a little bit. And in fairness, you are playing older competition in hostile environments for the most part. So is there at least potentially some sort of path down that line that you can maybe look at of like testing myself against older competition in high stakes environments that are going to test my will and maybe mess with me to a degree that could prepare me better for the league versus playing in essentially a bubble?
So you're talking about college hockey and college baseball.
You know what? Sure.
That's essentially what it is, right? Like,
but in fairness, Josh, like there's a lot of guys who are drafted in the NHL in the first round that still play a year in college hockey if they are going there. Or there's guys that play juniors for a little longer though.
That's a new thing though. That's a Jack Eichel, Jack Hughes. That's a new thing. That's not an old thing.
Yeah.
The
old way is that you would never go to college hockey if you were any fucking good.
Who do you believe on evaluation is the number one current NIL eligible individual in college basketball?
Drew Timme.
Greg?
In college basketball?
Like currently right now they 100% played at a D1 program. They have the largest evaluation.
It's legitimately Drew Timme because he said he looked at the G League and that he would have made more money. He makes more money doing NIL this year than he would have in the G League.
But that doesn't make him the Greg, guess.
Okay. Honestly, I'm gonna say Brandon Miller.
Okay. It is Hanzo Emmanuel, the one-armed basketball player out of Northwestern States. He is a freshman.
That's a good one.
His evaluation is $1.5 million.
That's fucking dumb.
He makes $20K per Instagram post.
That's so dumb. I bet the Cavenders. Right now, I wonder what the Cavenders make versus Drew Timme.
On all of the NIL players ranked, he's number 9. Who do you guys believe is number 2 at 15?
And this is only men's players?
This is only men's players.
So I would think like Zach.
And just so you know, we are getting close, Josh, to Drew Timme territory.
Right. But
so he might be 2, he might be 17. He is on this list. Just I don't want you to avoid him.
No. I would say so. Now I'm thinking I'm trying to think of like a local kid.
Think differently.
Think differently. Somebody has a Nike deal.
Think somebody is worthy of a Nike deal.
Oh, so Brandon Miller.
Greg?
We're talking like playing in college basketball right now.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, I would, based off that, I would say it's either Brandon Miller or Tariq Whitehead, but I would say Brandon Miller.
Number 2 is Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq's son
Ah.
at 1.1 million, who plays at Texas Southern. Do you guys get where I'm going with this?
Yeah, it's fucked
Yeah.
up.
Timmy comes in genuinely at 5, Josh, at $900,000, $2,200 per post. And he is, for lack of misunderstanding, the largest name on this list.
Right.
In terms of actual tournament
Right.
play. Do you see how like the money amount correlation doesn't make sense for the largest guys? So I
Right.
don't think college basketball can withstand what we can't just package up and say, well, they have NIL, so they'll be fine. The NIL is I look at Spencer Rattler. That car dealership still has to spend a ton of money on him,
Yeah.
regardless of him transferring.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You got to reshape the way you think about success in college basketball, because that list shocked me.
And I think, and that I think goes back to my point, is that that's what we're currently trying to figure out.
Let's get to a game.
Sure.
What else did we have to talk about?
Do you want to touch on
NBA.
LSU real quick?
Yeah, they won. All right, what game are we playing?
Go Tigers! Go Tigers! Also, can we talk about their coach for like 20 seconds?
Sure.
She dresses like
I'm
Ric
in love
Flair,
with
and
Texas's coach.
I fucking love it.
Facts.
Kim Mulkey, I
Thank you,
brought this
Greg.
up like on our last show. Like Kim Mulkey is like, you can love her or you hate her, but like you got to respect the fact that she is
good.
just not. She's not afraid to like be herself.
I
and
don't agree with the
appreciate
fact that she touched a ref, which was a little wild, but
Uh-oh.
do you,
Uh-oh,
Kim?
you know.
She like grabbed the ref during a call and tried to point, and I was like, if a man did that, he would
True.
be called
True,
Bob
true, true,
Knight
true,
in
true,
30
true,
seconds.
true.
At the same time, though, do what you can do. Pop off, Kim.
Also, real quick, that 2018-2019 Duke team, holy shit.
Crazy, right?
RJ Barrett, Cam Reddish, and Zion Williams, like, what are we fucking talking about? It's fucking insane. All right,
It's awesome.
let's see what game
That's
we're
how
going.
while you sort that out, that's why it's so disappointing that Duke UNC sucks.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's why. Because those names right there, Greg, were 3 lottery picks.
literally,
I get that
like
recruiting
after
sucks.
each
Yeah.
other.
But
Well, I get it.
Emmanuel Hansel doesn't need to go to a top school to make a lot of money. Shaq's kid doesn't need to. Timmy is the only player on that roster on the top 10 list that actually was worth a fuck, Greg.
And
here's
earned
the-
that
wait-
too.
Well, here's the thing.
100%.
Yeah.
But here's the thing I'm curious about though. If like all of these, if these guys that are getting NIL deals are going to smaller schools and stuff, then shouldn't like that also like lift the tide for all of these other guys that are going to bigger schools then?
No, but that's
Why?
no, because
it's
that's
about
the
your
problem.
social media presence in your
Yeah.
name.
Yeah.
Honestly, Oscar Tshiebwe out of Kentucky, he's right in front of Timmy on that list, and I have never seen that individual's name.
And here's, I mean,
Oscar Shibwe, yeah, he's like he's one of the
Oscar
few
Tshiebwe's
guys
a big
that
deal.
he's probably like one of the few guys that stayed as long as he did with
Right.
Kentucky. Yeah.
Do you know who
and-
is the only name you guys could have brought up that I would have said, yeah, you're right. Like, you should stick around in college? Armando Bacot out of UNC.
dude?
The dude
UNC's
who, if he didn't bust his ankle, they would have another natty.
UNC lost everyone after this awful
He's worth
season.
$1 million. He's 3 on the list.
Yeah, he's returning for his 5th year. So
Oh, don't do that.
Also,
Well,
Sheedway's
and to be fair,
Sheedway's
he's
a
making
wild
$1 million.
dude who like doesn't get on the plane sometimes because he.
wait,
he
really?
had it-
I
yeah,
did not
oh,
know
yeah.
that.
Some like so he's super religious, whatever his religion is, and he's from like South Africa or something, and he like
Congo.
thank you,
Dominican Republic of
Okay.
Congo. You're good. I have it
and
up.
he's just like the plane is cursed. I'm not getting on it.
Do you know what I heard? Oh my God, Josh.
To the road game.
Do you know what my boss told me today?
What?
What?
This is a very real thing.
Okay.
There is a diocese in the Catholic religion
Okay.
that believes that there are demons located in chat AI bots and do exorcisms on it. If that's not the most Josh Elsas thing, Greg, I've ever heard in my entire life. I got told that today, and I was like, I am so happy it's Thursday.
I just feel like that's
rocks.
all Catholic. I just feel like that's all Catholics in
That
fairness,
is
possibly. So,
so
that's
awesome.
Think about that. Oh, we invented this chat bot, and now there's demons.
I cannot wait for whatever the Exorcist version of this movie
Yeah,
is.
shout out Jordan Peele because it's going to be a monkey paw production. But here
Oh
we go.
God. I could even imagine that now. That'd be incredible.
All right. Pens are up 2-0. Our playoff hopes are
Nice.
still alive.
Who are we playing, Josh?
Minnesota.
Mhm.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Marc-Andre Fleury, Bill Guerin. Remember that?
I remember Bill Guerin. I
Okay,
poured him coffee.
General manager of the Minnesota Wild.
When I poured him coffee and he said, "Thanks, man," and then he asked me where the bathroom was, I knew I'd love him.
1, go. Let's see who's out in front. NFL mock drafts is winning.
Oh, for
and-
anybody on the podcast, we're doing the horse
Yeah.
or the running back thing.
Inside
The
draft
running back
is
thing-
also out front. Oh, not
the-
draft beer draft. Guess that
Oh,
logo.
no.
Oh man. Oh, it's gonna be guess that logo. Unless somebody makes
Nice.
a late second effort here. No. Oh shit.
What?
Got your wish, Derek. It's NFL mock draft.
Shut the fuck up,
I'm not kidding you.
Oh, baby.
Josh.
Oh,
I know.
Hold on.
baby.
I'm watching it now because I wanted to. Oh, Josh.
This is incredible.
I'll let you pick 1, 2, 3. I'm so happy.
I
I'm
know you're so happy. Okay. What?
For context, for anyone listening to the
Oh,
podcast, this
God.
got removed
Yes.
because on
Yes.
100% in agreement with it being removed. But I go, oh, and like now we're doing a mock draft,
Now we
which
have to
Josh
do a
is
fucking mock
visibly
draft.
upset about because
But in
he's. Have you
fairness-
done any research, Josh?
No, and I'm 4 beers deep.
This is
Josh,
incredible.
I would like to offer, now that you're 4 beers deep, the opportunity to not have to do anything on draft night based on what I built out last year and just join us via Zoom.
Whatever you want to do, baby. I'm
Because
okay
I
with.
feel the passion of it. And when I say that, I feel the what's the opposite of passion, Greg?
Impassion.
Suicidal endeavor on your
Disdain.
end?
Yeah, something like that. Disdain. Yeah,
Yeah.
disdain would be that. Yeah.
Let's do a mock draft. Let's do
Let's
a
do
mock
a
draft.
mock
Okay,
draft.
So
so
guys, the mock draft is going to be what you would do if you were that team.
yeah.
Love
That
it.
way, Josh doesn't need to think anything else other than being Josh.
I love it. And honestly, Josh, when
So
you
whoever's-
have done these,
First, whoever's taken third, second, or first is getting Eric Aboge.
My best, yeah, I was gonna say my best is that Josh. Unfortunately, you can't search by college, so you're
Oh.
gonna have to do a little research.
I
on
love
top of it.
honestly though,
Hey,
when
Nooker,
Josh,
first overall. Here we go.
when Josh is like forced to do a mock draft with us, usually 9 times out of 10 it ends up pretty entertaining. So I'm all here for it.
Josh,
Can I
what beer are you on?
redraft Chad Muma?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, thank you. Okay,
Oh,
what,
also,
what site do I
Logan
need to
Wilson
go to?
too.
I bought a soda pop.
Nice. What's that mean?
What?
It's
Oh,
like a Funko Pop, but they're smaller, and he got those little wings.
That's awesome.
that is cool.
That's like wait, that's actually like a thing, soda pop. I
Greg
didn't
and
know
I
that.
want a
they're
new
in like
toy.
they're in like a 12-ounce can. and
Oh, okay, I've seen
Troy
them.
showed 'em
Yeah,
to me, yeah.
that's
Mine's
sick.
Namor.
Okay, that's awesome. Was it
Okay.
a random one or did it like just?
Somebody help me.
You know what it is, but sometimes they're like gold.
Oh, that's sick.
This hat change is sponsored by Josh's inability to prep for the draft.
And that
Oh, is that making
Let's
a
go, baby.
comeback?
It always is. I can put it back in the store if you want. The store is live, by the way. I
Yeah.
haven't promoted it yet. I made shoes. Did I send you guys the
Yes,
shoes?
you did. And I was
Oh, the
like,
shoes-
how
the
much?
shoes are wild.
I got
They're
they're
wild.
$55, which
Yeah.
I don't think is unfair because it cost us 48 to make them. Josh, do you need us to recommend a site?
Yes, that is where I'm at.
I'm cool with PFN. I just Googled PFN mock draft. Greg, is that okay with you?
Yeah, Pro Football Network. Yeah,
Is the mock draft machine dead, Greg?
for what website?
Draft Network. It still says it's in beta, and we have a draft this month.
You know what's funny? I went on the site a couple weeks ago, and I think it works, but you need to have a login with the site to make it work, which is kind of annoying. But I think I set it up a while ago because when we were doing mocks, we had to get one in order to save them or something like that. So I think it works.
Okay.
I haven't tested it
Every
out yet.
time I just go to that site, it says that. And Josh, I'm just buying time.
So we're on
by the
Pro
way.
Football Network mock draft, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
It's very clean. It's very easy. It has a really good order.
Select all, one
Yes.
round, normal
Yes.
speed.
Yes.
Why can I not draft? Say how many people are drafting.
Because you,
Oh, no,
you
no,
just
we're-
make each pick.
Got it. Okay. All right. Well,
Yeah.
hang on. Let's
Because you
find
won't
out.
send it to me and Greg. Yeah, you'll just click the buttons.
Let's
which
find
is
out
amazing
who
that you
is-
have to do that.
I know. 5 beers in. Okay, let's find out who's going to draft first, second, and third. I'm running out to the front.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this.
A bit. I'm gonna be on the clock first. I can feel this fucking
No, that's a good
Broncos
thing. You
piece
wanna
of
be.
shit. Well, yeah, because I'm gonna take CJ Stroud so that I win a small bobblehead. Greg
Carolina
wins.
Panthers.
I'm second. Deke's third.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Okay, here we go. Let's see what this is all about. I might.
Can
pick
I ask you, Josh, have you
slow.
done anything in terms of any sort of anything aside? Like, you are a college football fan.
Yes.
Do you feel confident that you can name 31 college football players?
Well, I shouldn't have to name 31. It's 31 divided by 3.
Okay, what's that number?
I don't know.
Didn't think so, dickhead. Do you feel confident you can name 11 and a half
Yes.
college football players?
Yes, they're mostly quarterbacks and wide receivers.
That's okay.
Here we
well,
go.
Actually, I don't know because it's a weak receiver class, but still.
Listen, Greg. People are getting Tennessee receivers whether they
I think
like it
it's.
or not.
I don't know if it's. I don't know, Greg. I don't really agree that it's weak.
It's not top heavy like he usually is.
I think it's. Okay, we'll dive into that later.
Okay.
Dissect that. Yes.
All right. Here we go. Starting first is Greg Malik, and he is for Carolina.
Did you know that happened, Josh?
Yes, I did know about
Okay.
the trade.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, Carolina Panthers are trading up for a quarterback, and we already know who they're taking because their quarterback coach said that he cannot wait to shoot hoops with him in Charlotte. It is CJ Stroud.
Okay, well, now this is going to have to be better. All right. When I tried to Google CJ Stroud, it did not give me CJ Stroud. So, okay. Texans are up. Texans need a quarterback real bad.
Yeah, there you go.
I like Anthony Richardson more than I like Bryce Young. So give me Anthony Richardson.
Listen,
No.
we're here for it. We're here for it. We're here for
Not
it.
only
Yes.
are we here for it, Josh, the thing that has come out about the Texans, everyone has written in Sharpie Bryce Young to the Texans.
Right.
The Texans have not said a goddamn word.
I love it.
Everyone just assumes.
I love
Anthony Richardson to me is the guy that people are fighting over. No one's
Okay.
happy with any of these quarterbacks.
Love
that is in my opinion, Josh, a great pick.
Yeah.
Fuck
that's gonna be
yeah.
A lot of
All
fun.
right.
That's something I can't wait for on draft day is where Anthony Richardson
This is
gonna
the
end up going.
least prepared I felt for a draft, and that is not because of anything other than I don't know what anyone's going to do.
Sure.
I don't feel ill prepared. I feel confused.
Oh, this
Yes,
is going to be
that's-
easy. Wait, because I can just see who the top is based on
Yeah.
position. Okay, all right.
You can see
I'm good.
team
Yeah.
needs. You
I'll
go
be
by
all right.
position.
I'll be
Yeah,
all
you're
right.
good,
I'll be
Josh.
all right.
And also, Josh, the unlock button there is team needs. You
Ah.
can see exactly what they recommend. It's very.
I
Ping
got
was able
this.
to do it.
I got this. All right.
If Pete
Deke,
can
you're
do
up
it, you
for the
can do it.
Cardinals.
So I would love to ask if we're able to trade.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Oh no!
Propose a
I-
trade, Derek.
So I would
No.
like to offer to Greg at 4, who is the Colts,
Mhm.
Josh at 5, who is Seattle, Greg at 7, who is the
Ooh.
Raiders,
Okay,
Josh
okay,
at
okay.
8, who is no, just like
I'm in.
there's teams, right?
Yeah, let's hear it.
So and also Greg at 11, who are the Titans. I would like to see if anybody feels confident for a team below to trade up to get their choice of Bryce Young or Will Levis, which it would be Bryce Young at this point, because as the Arizona Cardinals, I'm a new GM, and I fully believe that we don't need a quarterback. Kyler
Sure.
Murray might miss the whole year. That's fine. We'll sort it out next year with Caleb Williams. I'm cool with tanking. I also don't really care if I get any defensive player because I know who I want. So does anybody's team feel the need to trade up?
I'd like to trade up. My name is the Seattle Seahawks.
What would you? Okay, well that's a great idea. What would you like to offer?
Whew. All right.
So, it would be clearly a 3-5 swap.
Okay. So
And-
I'm giving my first, obviously.
For next year.
Actually, no. I would like to. I would like to keep my first, and for your third overall pick, I'm going to give you DK Metcalf.
So we would swap 3-5. I would give you a third, and you give me DK.
No. I'm taking your third and keeping my 5. I'm giving you DK Metcalf.
No, Greg, you're up.
Okay.
So, Josh, realistically, I need a defensive player. If you were to send me Jordan Brooks or Tyreek Wilson or one of these young guns, I'm cool with it. But Will Anderson and Jalen Carter right there are too enticing for me to take that. Nice try, though. That was a really good try. Greg, you're up.
Because I want this to happen, because this would be the second year in a row that I've been in Nashville where the Titans do something crazy. I'm the Tennessee Titans, and I know that trading from 3 to 11 is a bit of a drop for you. So let me try.
Not very enticing. So
First off, you're not the Tennessee Titans, bud.
Yeah, you wish you were.
I'm not?
No, I'm the Tennessee Titans. So tell Derek what I want.
Wait.
You're the Eagles.
Wait, no, yeah. No, I'm not. I'm the second. I'm the second. Oh.
So it went who? Greg, you picked
I went first. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you are you're the Eagles. I'm not that drunk.
My bad.
You're the Eagles.
My bad. I was like, bravo.
Greg
okay.
is.
Okay, so hang on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you like to trade out?
Wait.
Okay.
I got this. All right. As the Las Vegas Raiders, a team that has been
No, 7, Josh, 7.
Okay.
Who's been perpetually looking for a quarterback and needs to make a wide receiver very happy. I would like to offer.
He's
this
not the
trade.
Either. Either. What are you guys
Yes,
doing?
I am.
Me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes,
You're right.
I
You're right.
am.
You're right. You are the Raiders.
Now you're
Calm-
drunk. You were good
calm
before.
the
Now
hell
you're drunk,
down.
Josh.
Yes. All right.
Because
As the Raiders, I will
23 beers in
switch-
8 hours.
I will switch first round picks with you.
Okay.
I will offer you my second round pick this year and my first round pick next year.
Deal.
Just switch spots.
Deal. Not even close. Yeah. So the Colts, I am hitting it. Trade on my end. You got to hit it too, Josh. The Colts are sending the 4th and accepting the 7th, the 70th.
No, Cardinals.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Yes. Yeah. You're right. The Cardinals.
Okay.
And the
Raiders.
The Cardinals send the 3rd. They accept the 7th.
Okay.
The 70th and LV first.
Okay.
Is that the offer, Greg?
Yes.
The trade was declined.
Wow.
How do we force it? Well, I think it was too much. So let me.
Wow. Okay.
I think it was too much, buddy. So that was a lot. Let me do the 3 for the 7 and the 1st.
Okay, hang on. This is the worst setup ever.
The trade was declined.
Me having to do all this shit.
You're good. I'm running scenarios on my end. To
Okay,
make it
cool.
work.
Okay, so
why was it declined?
3rd. Because it's a weak receiver class, Derek, and you need receivers like DK Metcalf.
Okay, so here's what I'll say. Trade accepted. Greg, you are currently on the clock. Let's just remember when the Raiders come up.
That you're picking?
My pick. It is my
All
pick
right.
as the Cardinals. Greg, you are currently on the clock as the 3rd. Apologies. Yeah.
That's all right.
Why would it? Yeah. Sorry, guys.
It's okay.
All right. 3rd overall with the Raiders. I'm not wasting any time. I'm getting my quarterback of the future. Give me Bryce Young as my starting quarterback.
Man, that looks real weird to put a starting quarterback right next to the fucking Cardinals.
Right.
It looks real weird.
Especially a guy the same height as Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Same.
So that means that, Greg, you are up for the Colts.
That is correct.
And with the Colts, I am also getting another quarterback, and I am going to go with one Will Levis. So four quarterbacks taken 1 through 4.
I think that could happen.
I think it could too.
I think it could too, but I also think that it could go 5 quarterbacks.
Here's the thing, Josh,
If
and
Hendon
if I
Hooker
can give
goes
you
in the top 5,
Oh,
I will
and
lose
if
my
I can
mind.
give you any credence here,
Yeah.
the Seattle Seahawks want people to believe with the selfies they're going after a quarterback here.
Right.
The Seattle Seahawks also, though, exceeded their win total by 4 games last year.
Right.
Signed Geno Smith to a 2-year filler deal that they're comfortable with.
Right.
Are in a division that's extremely winnable. And Pete Carroll and John Snyder have been very vocal about staying up at night, not being able to sack the opposing quarterback. They've put themselves into a position to
edge. Right. That's where you're leading me.
I'm saying that you are about to select arguably the best player in the class.
Will Anderson Jr.
Yeah. Yes.
Yep.
Not even close.
Yep.
That pick for them
He
would
was
be,
electric this year.
Pete Carroll would come, and he's like 80. I
Yeah.
don't know if he can still come.
I'm sure
That's a
he
great
can.
pick.
It's a great
But
question.
into a condom, Greg. Sorry, Greg. Derek, you're up.
Yeah.
I
On the
love
Lions, I'm drafting. We're not at networking events. We're drafting.
Yes.
So for me, this is the easiest pick in the entire draft. Give me Jalen Carter. If there is, there's a couple teams. So Jalen Carter, Josh, so you know, has had some off the field issues, concerns, a teammate.
I'm well aware.
Good. Jalen Carter needs to go to a opportunity that is built around the construct of a coach's belief. That is Dan Campbell and the Lions. Aiden Hutchinson needs some help. Jalen Carter, best fit. Bada boom. We're good to go.
Also, can you talk about a better leadership group in the Lions coaching alone, let alone their veteran players, to maybe straighten out a guy? Like
Brian Flores is going to be so. Isn't he there, or is he the Vikings? He's the Vikings. Who's their DC?
Aaron Glenn, I believe. But they have like they have a lot of former players like on that stuff. Like Antoine Randall, the receivers coach. Stu Staley, I think, is still there.
Yep. I think that's the perfect scenario.
And
so.
Aiden Hutchinson's such a fucking sweetheart. He's such a nerd, but he's such a sweetheart.
I am up for the Cardinals again. So the Cardinals are very mad.
Yes.
They're very mad that Will Anderson and Jalen Carter went because those would have been great there. But this one is easy peasy lemon squeezy for me, guys. The Cardinals are in a tough division. The Cardinals do have to face top receivers. This one, Christian Gonzalez. You could argue Witherspoon here, Greg. I think Witherspoon is the better wide receiver in terms of one-on-one coverage. Christian Gonzalez is an absolute home run pick based on athleticism. He can cover anybody in the league. Put him against Tyler Lockett. I love that.
This is the greatest example of Witherspoon being the better corner now, but in 5 years, Gonzalez being the better corner. Yes.
Go ahead, Greg. Or Josh, sorry.
So I've watched Devin Witherspoon up close and personal because that's who we opened the season with.
And we're so high on him, just so you know.
I thought that this kid was fucking electric.
Yes.
I think personally right now he's the best corner. Christian Gonzalez displays everything to be the better corner.
He is so fucking fast, though.
Can I give you one bit of advice?
Yep.
The Cardinals need to tank for Caleb Williams.
Or Drake May.
This pick right now will not Drake May, Quinn Ewers. This pick right now will not do anything to make the Cardinals better. They need to hit on someone who will be better than they are next year. Devin's great.
Yeah.
Do not get me wrong. I think that they're 1A, 1B. Gonzalez to me is the better physical absolute freak. And I'm going to go absolutely give Bean a treat or something because he is killing me.
He was so fast. All right, Greg, you're up for the Falcons.
Making sure that's.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm up for the Falcons.
Yep.
So the Falcons, we have touched on this numerous times. The Falcons just need pass rush in the worst fucking way. Worst fucking way. I think Dre has been notorious in our group chats numerous times. Have said like they've had, and last year I think they only had 20 sacks total all year.
So you don't want to take Hayden Hooker. You're not looking at quarterback right now.
No.
Knowing they need a fucking quarterback.
No, I think the Falcons are more than okay with waiting till next year to see how the quarterback class works out. So if I'm the Falcons, I'm getting pass rush because they desperately need it. So Tyree Wilson is the way to go.
Who was a great player this year. I mean, he was electric. There's no doubt.
Yes. Wilson is very intriguing, especially for the fact that he definitely rose up this year. He's much more of an athlete. But there's nothing wrong with that because I think athletes, in the end, if you're coached up the proper way, can provide huge benefits.
And that's
huge benefits.
You hear about that too in college all the time, right? They take a kid because he's an athlete, and particularly at defensive tackle, where they can coach him up and make him a better player, make him a pro prospect. Yeah, absolutely great. Okay, I'm up for the Bears, who traded their first overall pick because they believe they have their quarterback. They also made a lot of moves at receiver this year to give Justin Fields somebody to throw to. Whether or not he'll throw to them, we will find out. How's their left tackle, Greg?
Not great.
Not great, huh? Okay.
Not great. Bro, Justin Fields I think he had 20 touchdowns, but was sacked 3 times that number this year.
Is Paris Johnson Jr. a left tackle?
Paris Johnson Jr. is indeed a left tackle.
Well, son of a bitch. Guess who I'm taking out of the Ohio State?
Hendon Hooker.
No.
You're on the Bears still?
Yeah, Paris Johnson Jr.
Great pick.
Love that pick.
That is the perfect pick, Josh.
like I said, this is helpful. This is a good interface. I can work with this. Deke, you're up for the Super Bowl losers, the Eagles.
Yeah, so the Eagles are an interesting pick here because Dre wants them to take Bijan Robinson, which just isn't happening. For me, the Eagles need a couple different things. They need DT, but Jalen Carter, this is his stop point for me. Jalen Carter.
Anyway.
You wouldn't. Well, it's the luxury of having 2 first-round picks and the ability to influence the offense heavily there. We all agree that that's just not kind of noticeable. So there's 2 positions that the aren't here that I think that they need, and for me that's defensive tackle. So Jalen Carter is gone. There's obviously some really good guys later. And linebacker, there's not an elite linebacker in this class, so I'll avoid there. Give me Devin Witherspoon, cornerback for the Eagles.
Love that. That secondary that they already have with him.
Yeah.
You will not be able to throw on the Eagles.
No, and they brought back Slay and Bradbury.
Yeah.
It's a terrific secondary, and you also grab, arguably, as we brought up, the best corner in the class to just cement in there instantly.
Yeah. And a guy who, Big Ten football, right, isn't really pass heavy.
Yes.
But it's like physical, right? That's like the whole
100%.
bit.
That's a good call out.
Adding a physical cornerback for the Eagles, fuck yeah. All right.
Put him on CD, put him on Jahan Dotson in a few years. He's ready.
Right.
Yeah.
Greg, I was wrong. You were the Titans.
Oh, that's okay.
I also, in your defense, Josh, did not think he was the Titans.
Yeah, he was the Titans
That's
the
okay.
whole time.
That's okay.
You know what it was? It was because we were at. Never mind. I don't know why. We're
All right,
idiots.
we fucked
That's
up.
okay. That's okay.
Alcohol.
So
I've been drinking.
Stop saying it's okay. It's not okay. You're terrible.
with the Titans, I want to cause chaos and take the hometown hero of Hendon Hooker here, just to cause chaos because I want.
I don't think that's chaos, Greg. I think that's a legitimate thing.
A 25-year-old quarterback with one quality year under his belt coming off an ACL tear.
Nashville would burn to the ground.
Think about that without any storyline, Josh.
Absolutely.
A 25-year-old quarterback with one good year.
You're right.
It's Brandon Weeden 2.0, basically.
Right. No, you're not wrong. But I also have heard so much shit about how the Titans want Hayden Hooker that I can't. You know what I mean?
They'll take Hendon Hooker in the second. Here's my thing. The Steelers are in the optimal position to move that pick. Whether they package that pick and move up in the draft with their first, or they package that pick and move back for better quality, somebody, in my opinion, is going to attack. If they don't attack 31, which Dre's not crazy that Hendon could go at 31 for that fifth-year option, I think the Steelers, if it's all said and done, and Greg, you tell me if I'm wrong, I don't think the Steelers make the pick at 32. I genuinely believe we either use it to move up to try to snag Joey Porter Jr. or one of these corners, or we use it as a dingle target for a Gibbs, for a Hendon Hooker, for a team to come up and get them to start at day 2, and we absorb a ton of later picks on it because it is a first-round pick.
Yeah, especially when they don't have a 5th or 6th round pick, so that would help a lot. And honestly, they need depth at a lot of areas.
I will say though, Josh, if Hendon Hooker went at 11. You're not going to find me being upset.
Right. I also don't think that the Steelers are going to let Joey Porter Jr. slip.
No, I think the Commanders take him as his floor, which is the worst thing I've ever said. It makes me sad to say.
I don't see.
He's so good.
Mike Tomlin and Joey Porter are way too tight for Joey Porter Jr. to not be a Steeler.
I simply just want Hendon Hooker to go to Tennessee simply for the fact that it is clearly a sign that I am bad luck for the Titans franchise because this would be the second year in a row something bad would happen to them while I'm visiting. But number 11 is simple.
You goober.
Number 11 for me is simple. They just got rid of Taylor Lewan. Get me Broderick Jones Jr. from Georgia.
Yeah, they won't do it, but that's a great pick.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, right. Whoever you're going to play at quarterback needs somebody to protect them. Texans.
They already have Anthony Richardson.
Which
so do not take Hendon Hooker.
Right.
I'm all here for.
But also, that quarterback battle would be electric. It'd just be dudes throwing bombs to no one. Like that.
They have nothing. They have nothing else. They have no offensive line. They have no receivers, no tight end. It's just if they could play 2 quarterbacks for it, then
They would.
Oh my god,
that would be amazing.
I don't trust Northwestern at all.
He's the best offensive linemen in this class.
Oh,
And what I mean by that is he can move to a ton of positions and be good, but also, I mean, realistically,
Josh. Also, the thing with him is
the
that
Texans need edge.
Josh, he's also a T-Rex, basically. It means he's a big body, but he's got little tiny arms that he's been getting knocked for a lot.
You
Like
just sold me.
Jeremiah.
All right, we're going Miles Murphy then.
Miles Murphy's been hurt, is a top-tier edge prospect.
I do not trust Big Ten offensive linemen.
Whoa. Wisconsin churns out offensive linemen like constantly.
Okay, but they're the exception. Northwestern is not a good football school. Despite their recent successes, they are not a good football school. They do not churn out NFL talent.
Iowa turns out centers.
Iowa, Wisconsin, these are proud Big Ten programs that have turned out NFL talent in the past. Northwestern is not. It's
okay. Well, you just
not.
can't. When you say Big Ten, I go.
Oh, I'm sorry, but still.
You're good though. I'm with you.
You know what I mean? I don't trust Northwestern
Big Ten
at all.
Okay. I like it.
You're up
Not
for the
a big fan of
Jets.
Chicago. I understand.
The Jets need a lot, and I am doing this under the pretense that they still believe they are getting Aaron Rodgers. So
I want this to last until June in the worst possible way.
Well, even they're not taking Hooker though, right? Like they would take like Max Duggan or something crazy because they're fucking the Jets.
This one's easy. It's T-Rex arms Skoronski if he's falling because they have Mekhi Becton. They have was it Grant? I forget the lineman. Greg, older guy.
George Fant.
Fant, not Grant. Yeah. Thank you. George Fant is where I got Grant. Give me Skoronski. Very easy. Give me an offensive lineman. Make Aaron Rodgers happy. Greg, you're for the Pats.
3-0 Pats.
I was just gonna say because I saw Sucker score. Nice.
We are alive and Flowers pissed. I've seen that fucking
sorry, buddy.
Crease clear so many times.
All right, so I'm up for the Patriots. I am all here for the Mac Jones drama, by the way. Love it. Love it.
Are you taking Hendon Hooker?
No, I'm not taking Hendon Hooker, but I'm all here for it, especially because how much praise they got for getting him, and now apparently he's on the block 2 years later. I love it.
Well, in the defense of him, Bill Belichick is not invincible.
True.
I think that's what this whole thing has shown me.
I also think that yes, they got praise for taking Mac, but also like there were a lot of us going like, are you sure?
Well, and so the Mac stuff comes off the heels of the 49ers being like, we're going to take Mac, and then taking Trey Lance and the Patriots being like, all right, we'll take him. To me, Mac is a very middle-of-the-road quarterback. I very much would like him on my team over certain guys. I don't want to win a championship
and Greg,
with him.
To be 100% fair, that like there's a clip of me on this show seeing Mac Jones play for the first time and going like, fuck, they got another one. Like that was literally a quote.
I remember that.
Yeah.
So I do remember that. Yeah.
But
a lot of the world did.
Yeah, but it turns out maybe they didn't. Here we go. This is year 18, by the way.
I think he's Case Keenum. That's his ceiling in my mind.
Kirk Cousins, maybe.
It's a good ceiling.
Those
are good ceilings.
I won't say Kirk, man, because Kirk to me from day one felt a little bit different, and the team bet on him heavy. Case has had his moments in Minnesota, his moments in Cleveland. He's been around the league for a while. It's a good opportunity ceiling for him. Maybe he goes somewhere and has a glimpse of Matt Ryan. Not the Super Bowl year, career-wise.
Sure.
Maybe, but I don't see it. I think Case is his thing. But Greg, you're for the Pats, buddy.
So this one, I think as the draft has...
Jigba, Josh.
What?
He's going Jackson Smith at Jigba.
Okay.
But don't tell Greg that I know his pick.
Okay. The Patriots do need a wide receiver, though.
Yeah, I know. Me too. Greg, why'd you stop talking?
Also,
because that's literally who I was taking.
Tight.
Yeah. Do I know my dork or not?
Chief Greg Officer, you know him.
Chief Greg Officer, why him?
Yeah.
Because I think as the process has kind of been going on, I think Jackson Smith and Jigba has been going up boards a bit more lately because we forget how really good that receiver group in Ohio State was
really
when you think
good.
about it.
Really
Like
good.
Marvin Harrison Jr. might be a top 10 pick next year. And then they also had Olave and Garrett Wilson the previous year. So I think there's something to be said for Smith and Jigba maybe not getting as much of a shine as he probably could have gotten this year. But I think, and I read something that really convinced me to it. Jackson Smith and Jigba is in the same situation that Jamar Chase kind of was when he was at LSU. Not Jamar Chase, sorry, Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson was the clear number 2 at
Yeah,
LSU.
I was gonna say couldn't disagree more with Chase.
That's what I'm
Agree
saying.
with JJ.
That's what I meant. Like Justin Jefferson
You're
was
good.
the clear number 2, but when you put him in a situation where he's expected to be the number 1, he just goes berserk. He had the number 1 talent, he just wasn't needed.
Cool.
I think this is kind of the same situation for Jackson Smith and Jigba because they had fucking Marvin Harrison Jr. there.
Who would you rather have, Greg? Ohio State's core of Wilson, Olave, Jackson Smith, Marvin Harrison, or Alabama's core of Judy, Waddle? Who else was on that team? Why can't I think of it for the sake of this conversation?
Ruggs.
Ruggs, thank you. And there's one other one.
Jamison Williams won his knee.
Jamison Williams, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and what I mean by that is, I think we're looking at a genuine conversation of a core 4 being NFL prospects. Like JSN, as much as I don't love him, don't love him because he wasn't the guy. I didn't even think twice about Justin Jefferson when he was drafted. So I'm fully on board with that pick.
Fair. Justin Jefferson also was drafted in the 20s, so it was kind of like
after Jalen Reagor.
That was that video is amazing.
That video is great.
I think
God.
I think the other
Josh.
part of that's tough is that this Ryan Day group has underachieved versus
Every
that
year.
Alabama group that
Every year.
overachieved maybe even a little bit. So
I think
that's
Alabama's
tough.
underachievement is to make the playoffs and not win.
Right.
Their overachievement is to go undefeated.
Right. So
They
like
have.
and they damn near. So like that's yeah. I mean Ryan Day can fucking recruit though too.
Josh, you're for the Packers,
Yeah,
buddy. And
that's tough.
I led under the pretense of a Rodgers less Packer. You may do whatever your
I'm
heart
gonna
mind is.
I'm gonna assume the same thing, but I'm also because I'm the Packers and I'm petty. I'm taking Jalen Hyatt.
Oh, I love it. I love getting a receiver when he's
Well,
out
I
the
would
door.
like to know why Hyatt over 2 names.
Over
And I know my answer.
Anderson
Over
and
Jordan Addison and
Yeah.
Zay Flowers.
Okay.
Zay Flowers to me is the number 1 receiver in this class based on everything we've seen. Quentin Johnson, I think, is the absolute bust, but so does everyone else.
So I didn't watch Zay Flowers at all. 100. Like I'm just going off.
Nobody
of Josh,
did. Nobody
right?
did.
I watched Jalen catch a lot of contested balls that Hooker just left up there like a wounded duck, and I watched him catch those balls in big games too, where it mattered. And that, I mean, if Jordan Love is gonna leave some fucking wounded ducks up there because he's Jordan Love, give me a guy that can go up and get him.
I love that. And Jalen Hyatt, to me, Josh, is a very sneaky end of the first round pick because of the way he pops the top off the defense.
Oh, dude,
Yeah,
he was
he's a burner.
So,
He's a burner.
so much. But even when he was burning guys, like when he had to make contested catches, he could. Like there were a couple of plays in the
100%.
end zone. What was the big game where they got ranked super high? I can't remember who they were playing.
They were the first overall.
Yeah. It was
They
at
played
home.
Bama.
Yes. Nah, it wasn't Bama. It was the game, two
No.
games before that. But they were like, it was when they were starting to make noise. And Hyatt had, I want to say, like 100 yards, no joke, receiving and 2 tutties. I mean, the kid like can ball. Give me Hyatt.
Yeah, agreed. Very much so. I think, hear me out. When Greg said this, wide receiver class is, I think weak was the term, Greg.
Underrated, maybe.
Inconclusive.
Oh, that's a good one.
Downs,
That's
Downs
better.
got the
That's
best term
better.
from him. Mims Jr. is a very, Booty was the number 1 receiver starting the year, and he might be UDFA.
The
Jalen
undrafted.
Reed's my favorite guy. Yeah,
Can't wait.
this class is very inconclusive. I apologize to you both.
That's fine.
Greg, say it's fine.
It's fine.
The Washington Commanders take Joey Porter Jr.
It was also
You already said it's
it was
fine.
it was the Florida game was what I was thinking of. But
Fair.
okay.
So for me with the Commanders, they need a ton. but they absolutely need a lockdown corner. Joey Porter Jr. is right there. I'm not going after Cam. I'm not going after Ringo. I think they easily could go Brian Brisset here. I don't see them going Branch because their safety situation. I like their wide receivers a ton. They need a quarterback, but I'm not going handed. For me, Joey Porter Jr. is the number one pick when you look at their division, which is a Giants team with no true number one receiver, an Eagles team with 4 true number one receivers, and a Dallas team with 1 true number one receiver. Joey Porter Jr. fits the bill there. Greg, you're on the clock for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Fuck.
I think based on how
I've cucked myself so many times for that pick.
I think based on how the board is kind of falling, I'm going to go Brian Branch for the Steelers. I like him a lot. They didn't bring back Terrell Edmonds, so there's a clear need for a long-term starter there. I think the way that he was utilized at Bama, he can move around in multiple different sets. Their secondary also, when you think about it in hindsight, is still not solid because I understand when drafting a safety in all seriousness, but I don't believe Casey's coming back after this year. So that's depth that they're probably getting moving forward.
Yeah.
I just think that that's a piece. And also when you think about it, you can move him in the slot. You can move him in the box. You can move.
That's
him
where I was going to go to. We lost Mike
Hill
Hill and haven't filled that hole yet.
Yes, we have not filled that either. And even if they don't want to make him like a full-time slot guy whatsoever, just adding that versatility in the secondary is something that I think they've lacked for a while now. So I think he would be a solid pick for them. And I think secretly Mike Tomlin has crushes on Bama secondary guys in all seriousness.
Sure.
So
as do I.
Give me
should.
Josh, the Lions have already taken Jalen Carter. You are up for them, buddy.
Yeah, so they're set at receiver, they're set at running back, they're set at tackle because they have
Define
Sewell.
their set at receiver out of curiosity.
I mean, they're stacked. No.
Go ahead. I'm saying I want to hear your kind of like. Do you like their receiver core? I don't disagree that they should not take a receiver. They have Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams.
Thank you.
The sun god.
Oh yeah, you're good. And this was not a quiz. I just
yeah.
To me, I'm a little less in love with their receivers than most people, and the reason for that is due to quality team production. They have lost Hawkinson, which is a big receiver. I think Williams is going to be a big boomer bust guy moving forward, and I think the sun god is the possession god. But I don't think they have a receiver that is going to win them a game. I don't know, Greg. Do you disagree with that?
I think St. Brown. I think St. Brown
possession receiver.
Okay.
I would say St. Brown has at least done enough as he can to win games. But what I will say is that I think this could be the spot where the first tight end comes off, simply because they got rid of Hawkinson. But this is also one of the best tight end classes in terms of.
But they've already used, so they already went after Jalen Carter. Yeah.
The one thing I will say too about the Lions in this entire class, Josh, is this is an extremely good defensive class, and I would want to get Aiden Hutchinson as much help as possible.
Sure. Because that's where, I don't know if you were watching my screen, I originally went to linebacker. And
No. You're good. I'm on my own.
So I
actually linebacker wouldn't be a bad option either, because I think they've missed linebacker.
It's a tough class. I'm curious, Greg, who the top linebacker that goes is. Simpson's there, but Simpson is more Isaiah Simmons out of Clemson, where he can play safety, play coverage. You look at Jack Campbell out of Iowa, who genuinely is the number one linebacker. But I'm telling you right now, my number one linebacker, if the Steelers take one, is Drew Sanders out of Arkansas, an Alabama linebacker who can play edge when needed, but a true as they come NFL today linebacker.
That can is essentially extremely versatile, can drop back into coverage, can blitz, can do all these things that you essentially need in a modern day linebacker. And he's
what I wanted Devin Bush to be.
He's built like a linebacker. And actually what's scary, bud, everything I've read about Trenton Simpson strikes me as Devin Bush, except he's 5 inches taller.
I take it as Isaiah Simmons, but that's very much the school. Josh, you're up, bud. And don't let us discourage you from any of those linebackers.
No.
So here's what I'm gonna do. Originally, I went to the linebackers for the Lions because Aiden Hutchinson, as great as he is edge, right?
Yep.
And you already went and got him help on the edge. I don't love the quarterbacks that are left.
No.
which I would be tempted. You know what I mean? If there was, if somebody fell, I would be tempted. So
if Will Levis was here, you're
right,
doing that.
right. So
If Anthony Richardson was here, you would do it. Yeah.
right. So give me Jack Campbell. I trust
Yes.
Iowa linebackers. I trust Iowa defensive players. Like
he's one of the most pure linebackers
Yes.
we've seen since Leighton Vander Esch.
and he hits.
Yes.
Like,
He does everything that you want a modern day linebacker to do.
but if I'm thinking about Dan Campbell's, the way Dan Campbell wants his guys to play, right? Yes, Drew Sanders may be smart and whatever, but like Dan Campbell wants his linebacker to fucking hit. Like, it's just plain and simple.
Listen, Jack Campbell, like in terms of like he can hit, but don't knock the fact that like he's not smart. Like the dude, like is I believe absolutely is probably the smartest linebacker in this class.
Also,
as well.
if you think about this, like tight ends in the Big Ten are generally fairly good, right? And so he has experience covering good tight ends. Like, give me Jack Campbell.
I'm up for the Bucks.
This is a tough fucking pick.
Can I be fully transparent with you?
Absolutely.
It's not.
Really?
It's not.
Okay. Educate me, Derek.
So you look at the Bucks. They need cornerback help. The true corners left, Cam Smith, who is a very good corner, plays on athleticism. Keely Ringo, a very good corner who plays on athleticism. You look at some of the secondary corners. Greg, we've gone into our battles about Deontay Banks. I think Deontay Banks, in my opinion, is a great corner. Will be Emmanuel Forbes, Josh, just so you know, is my top corner still on the board. He is a skinny guy at Mississippi State, and I adore him.
Man,
that we have had multiple
many debates.
Many debates with
Gray
Dre
says he
about
can't
this.
tackle. So then you look at another position of need, which is edge. They take Joe Turney a few years back. You look at Lucas Van Ness, didn't play enough college ball, but is an absolute freak of nature. Isaiah Foskey, a decent guy. You look at BJ Ojolari, who's a name brand there. You look at Felix Ndikete Ozama, who had a Kansas State. Will McDonald, big names there. I'm between two guys right now. And the reason this is not a hard pick, Josh, is because I'm between the two top tier players on my board right now, Bijan Robinson and Nolan Smith. And due to the fact that we no longer have a pure running back, but we are putting Baker Mayfield out there, Bijan Robinson, the number one prospect on everyone's board, goes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they have a true attack in their offense that pairs well with the two, arguably the best receiving duo in the NFL in Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, despite the fact that Baker's throwing the ball. You put Bijan on that offense, Baker doesn't have to throw more than 13 times a game for it to be effective.
And that O-line should improve drastically when they get healthy.
Wirfs,
as well.
Jensen, they were terrible. So give me Bijan. He instantly improves Baker, and I'm looking at Baker Mayfield as a top 15, if not top 12 quarterback next year in terms of his actual production.
So let me ask you this. In your opinion, how well does Bijan Robinson catch out of the backfield?
Extremely well. He's to me, Josh, he's Ezekiel Elliott.
Okay. Well, then fuck. That would be a great
pairing.
pairing.
If not better. I get it, but they also look at Rashad White and Keyshawn Vaughn, both smaller, both receiving backs. I believe, and I'm not crazy, they still have Giovanni Bernard.
They might.
I think they do. Yeah, I think they do.
Oh, he's a free agent.
Oh.
So, but anyways, my point is it's easier for me to fill the role of receiving back if something goes wrong than it is to fill the whole, like Derrick Henry.
Like a guy you can turn around and hand the fucking ball to.
Yeah. Yep. So that offense to me right now with Bijan added, arguably is a top 5 offense when you look at the entire components due to tight end, top 2 wide receivers, and running.
Hey, man, I've been a Baker believer for a long time, and
I think he's going to kill it.
And
look at that division too.
That division's winnable, and also I think too it's a smart play because in Cleveland he had the two-headed fucking monster at running back where he could throw to one guy, hand it off to another guy, and he didn't have to be the focal point. He also had OBJ.
Not even that. He had an elite offensive line too.
True.
In Cleveland, honestly.
True.
Elite.
So, yeah, I don't hate the pick, Derek. I was just curious where you
it's great questions.
Ranked Robinson as far as a receiving back because in Cleveland they had both, which was insane.
Yep.
Still have
the Seattle Seahawks for Greg. They previously selected Will Anderson.
Yes.
I think they need more. I think they need more weapons on that team, especially because Tyler Lockett's getting a little up there in age. So give
Oh.
me a guy who can complement DK Metcalf. Give me your boy Zay Flowers.
Okay. That's
I
fine.
100 bajillion% thought that was going to be Jordan Addison.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it in my head because I truly believe Lockett has to like be
He's got
nearing
to
the
have
end
sex
pretty soon.
eventually, which makes him die. Yeah.
He's nearing the end pretty soon, and I think comparing the two, Zay Flowers strikes me as a guy that's a bit more comparable to the way Tyler Lockett plays. I would say, like a
Cool.
little shorter, speed demon, can really get past defenders, like in an instance and stuff. So I think that plays a little better with Metcalf's strengths.
Yeah. I don't think that's disagreeable at all. They're actually the same height, Greg.
Are they really? Oh,
I
shit,
did not
thought-
know that. When you said shorter, I know you meant like shorter receiver.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
both 5'10". I didn't know that.
Yeah, okay, 5'10" sounds about right, but I didn't realize Lockett was 5'10". I thought he was a little bigger.
Yeah, after he has sex, he'll bust a nut and grow. Josh, you are for the Chargers.
Yeah. Pens are
This
up
is
4-1,
another
by the way.
Bijan landing spot.
Yeah. Why? Because Eckler's old?
They've granted Eckler the ability to go seek a trade. He wants a
Oh.
massive contract they're not willing to pay.
Yeah, he was quoted as saying that the Chargers just told him we do not want to talk extensions
Wow.
at all.
Well,
What's up, Dre?
man, I do not hate Gibbs out of Alabama. Tell you that.
I got a lot of flack for taking it for the Bills at 27 in our mock
Really?
by Greg and Dre.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Spears up close. That kid can fucking move.
He is going to be the absolute gem of the second round.
Yeah.
You think he goes second? I feel like he might go a little further, honestly.
Anybody that gets
What's
him, Greg, like that kid's gonna play 10 years in the league. I kid you not.
Define you mean further along, like later?
Yeah, like later.
Okay.
I
Further's
don't
an interesting word there. I thought you meant like earlier for some reason.
No, sorry about that. But
No,
I think
do not be sorry, buddy.
Yeah, I just think I like him a lot, and he absolutely torched USC in that bowl game. But
he hits that whole
don't know.
power, Greg. Like the kid does not like. You know how they teach you to run with your head up? Kid doesn't understand that.
He's better than Akane. He's better than Tank. He's better than Zach Evans. He's better than Izzy. He's better than Keandre. I think the boards have been swaying us a decent amount. I like Gibbs and Charbonnet more, Greg, but I think Spears goes. I think he could be high. Chargers. Sorry,
I'm taking Jordan Addison.
that's the pick.
That's a good pick. Actually,
I know there's so much, but like Herbert needs weapons.
You talk about the number one route runner in this class. It's Jordan Addison, and who's he going to learn under? The number one route runner in the NFL, Keenan Allen.
Right, and I mean the Chargers could not score when they needed to. They could not score the fucking ball. Like when the game was on the line, they were unable to score. Give me another weapon.
Yeah, and also it's gonna. And I've told Derek this beforehand. It's gonna drive me nuts the numerous amount of times that everyone has these massive man crushes on Justin Herbert, and then he just ends up not doing anything.
Well, Philip Rivers. It's a Chargers.
Let's wait.
I understand, but there's so many media personalities that like give him way more love than Philip Rivers ever.
Well, he
got.
broke Peyton Manning's rookie record, right?
True.
All right, so I'm up for the Ravens.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I don't pick.
Yeah, you got to trade the fuck out.
I choose not to pick. No.
No, because what are you going to do? Do you know if Lamar is signed? Because if Lamar is signed, you go get him a weapon. If he hasn't, what the fuck are you going to do?
You get Tyler Huntley a weapon.
You still get a weapon.
Tyler Huntley fits that offense unless Todd Monken changes it completely.
Hear me out. Hayden Hooker, not a bad comparison for Lamar Jackson.
No, he's just older than Lamar Jackson.
Well, that's true.
Which is amazing. Amazing.
So if honestly, if Zay Flowers, Jordan Addison, and Julian Hyatt weren't gone, I'd consider receiver. I'm out on Quentin Johnston. I think Quentin Johnston's ass. I'm out on Josh Dawns. I think Josh Dawns is a great route runner.
You really hated that TCU team, huh?
Love Duggan.
No, you said he's not an NFL prospect.
I don't think he is.
He's not. He'll be either a 7th rounder or a UDFA.
If he becomes a genuine starter in the NFL, Josh, we are talking about, and I don't say this lightly, arguably the greatest rags to riches story in the history of football.
Well, I think that would be Stetson Bennett, wouldn't
If Stetson Bennett becomes a starting NFL quarterback, genuinely, no, I will drive to his parents' house and shake his dad's hand. I'll shake his dad's ball sack. Like, and I mean true starter. Like a team doesn't go, oh no, everyone else died.
Right.
We need him. Like he is our starter.
5th quarterback backup.
Ask his dad if I can shake his ball sack.
Like whatever happened in San Francisco. Like that kind of level.
Let's go with literally, dude. Let's go with who I think the Ravens would take in this situation. Cam Smith, cornerback. They need corner help. They need athletic freaks. They need dogs. Cam Smith, to me, could be the number 1 corner in this class when it's all said and done. I just think it's too much coaching and risk. They need a lot of help at corner. I don't love any of these other guys. I could see Banks going here, Greg. I could see maybe sliding into a couple of the guys we like. But for one moment, and I don't mean this as a slight or a negative thing, you and Dre had Cam Smith as the number 1 corner in this class, as did the world, Greg, I'm pretty sure. Cam Smith.
No, yeah, absolutely. Like Gonzalez, Witherspoon were not looked at.
No.
Light
Witherspoon, I remember there was a mock the Steelers took Witherspoon, and I remember a group chat with me, or I think it might just been a text, Greg, where I was like, dude, if they take Witherspoon, what are we doing? And then I was like, why would I say that? Just because he went to Illinois and we watched tape and it was like, fuck, no, this dude's elite.
No, this dude,
fast.
no, he's a dog. Yeah,
So fast.
absolutely a dog.
Just keep feeding Bean 1 carrot at a time.
Nice.
Way to keep your dog healthy.
He's really gonna poop his ass off later.
Well, he was wanting the door to pee and poop, but he loves carrots so much.
So did Brody. That and bananas. Those were his 2 favorites.
Bananas. He loves apples too. Vikings. Greg.
This I think is the floor for Brian Brzee. So I'm gonna add Brian Brzee because they desperately need a pass rush as well. I think that, and also too, this is kind of a weird like changing of the guard for the Vikings defense, bud. Because like I thought about this, like they don't have Eric Hendricks anymore, who's been there forever. Harrison Smith is probably almost going to be on his way out as well. I don't recognize any of their secondary pieces at all.
Remember when the roads were closed?
Yeah.
No. So do I. It was years ago.
Oh my god.
It was the same year the movie Twister came out, I'm pretty sure.
Wow. Give me Brian Brzee here for the Vikings.
Good pick, buddy. Josh.
Oh.
This is a fun one. The Jags are on the up.
This is because as maybe it's been forgotten, but I have my big cat facts, and I love the Jaguars. Yep. I love everything about the Jaguars quarterback system. I'm trying to pull up their depth chart. I feel like they need an impact player on defense. Is that wrong?
I don't love Trevon Walker, and their secondary is fucking titties.
They have a lot of athletes, but I think they could always upgrade, yeah.
I feel like they're okay at linebacker.
You know what's honestly scary? Like Derek and I have done this. Like we've looked at the Jaguars roster, and I swear I recognize everyone just from random draft years. It's crazy. It's so crazy. How many
they've drafted so high for so fucking long.
Yeah, Devon Hamilton, Henry Mondo, who I just missed Mondo, Josh Allen, Devin Lloyd, Trevon Walker, Tyson Campbell, Andrew Sisko, Darius. Like these are all names that
I recognize so many of these guys. Yes.
Deontay Thompson out of Alabama, which I didn't even have to click on his name to know he went to Alabama. Like they draft Chad Muma.
Yeah.
I mean, how dare you take a linebacker with Chad Muma on the roster, Josh?
That's right. Yeah. Let's just make it a little bit tougher to play against them. Give me Kancey out of Pitt.
Oh, I love that. Kancey is not rated properly on this board, actually.
Let's just put those fucking dudes in the middle that fucking make it tough to run on you because you know that you have the help in the secondary. You know that you have your linebackers. Like, they
run a 3-4, Josh, which I don't think matters in this sense, and he would play a left defensive end position, but that is what Cam Hayward plays.
Right.
Mhm.
Either way,
I
give
love
me
it.
a
I love
big
it.
No, I
boy,
love
put him
that.
in the fucking middle. That's all I care about. Run
Love it.
stopping, quarterback pressure. Give me that. Deke, you're
I'm
up for the Giants.
Giants. They need a lot, but one thing, so you it sucks. You got to help Danny Dimes, man, right? And
Gotta do
so
something.
you look at they added Waller.
Waller's going to be interesting for that team, actually.
Man, I
I'm
think
very
he's
curious
done
how they
being
use him.
elite, Greg. I really do.
Is it
but
because
at
of
the
him
same
going to
time,
the Giants, or is it just because like the way he played last year?
it's just I think he had his 2 good years, and he's closer to being one of the guys that was.
He's closer
so-
to being Zach Ertz more, is what you're saying.
Ooh, that's
No.
a name.
No, he's closer to being Logan Thomas, excuse me, Logan Thomas.
Well, I meant that more from like saying like Zach Ertz at one point was like,
Yeah, but Zach Ertz is still a
know,
relevant tight end.
but he's not elite though, is what I'm saying.
So that's
No,
where
but he
you're
can still
leaning?
block and move.
That's fair.
Is that where you're leaning? Tight
It's
end?
not.
Okay.
I fucking hate him. But there was still tape of Quentin Johnson being elite.
Dude, can I implore you to drop down?
You can, but you won't. Quentin
Okay.
Johnson's tape tails from either A, the best wide receiver in this class, to B, Kelvin Benjamin when he was fat. And I think the inability for me to provide Daniel Jones with opportunity makes no sense. They have no wide receiver 1. Their wide receiver class sucks. They got rid of Kenny Golladay. They have
Thank
no
God.
wide receiver. Quentin Johnson doesn't have to be the guy, but he can be the guy. He needs to high point the ball is his big thing. Him in the open field, though, is a freak of nature. And you know what? We already traded away Kadarius Toney. Let's try another.
Okay.
Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
Greg.
So I'm pissed that I lost out on Bijan, obviously,
Suck
because
it, nerd.
yeah, that would have been awesome. So I'm gonna be the first class. I'm gonna be the first team to take a tight end because, frankly, like we don't know who our starter is gonna be. So it's between Kincaid and Mayer. And
No, it's
personally,
one of these
I
dudes is
don't-
electric. One of these dudes is
Well,
fine.
And one of them is 6'8".
yeah. Honestly, I completely forgot. Scroll down a little bit. Give me the guy that's going to be just a pure weapon in some sort of way. Give me Darnell Washington from Georgia.
The red zone freak.
He was.
Yes.
And
Terrifying.
improved it in no other place other than the national championship game.
Mhm.
I'm so curious how this tight end class goes because to me, Michael Mayer's a pure tight end.
It's
Dalton
so
Kincaid
deep.
is the closest thing to Travis Kelce. Darnell Washington is the closest thing to a pure fire touchdown every throw.
Right.
Mhm.
Penguins win. Their playoff hopes are still alive.
Good.
Okay.
Joshua for the Bills.
Yeah, for the Bills, man, it's tough, right? Because is Diggs going to play there next year? Tough, right? We're still in like that kind of weird limbo. But I do know that they were a way worse team without Von Miller in the lineup.
Yeah, he shouldn't have fallen this far.
Give me Van Ness.
Agreed. The upside's $2,000.
Yep. You got it. I mean, you got to do something.
I'm off for the Bengals.
What are you going to do here?
This one's easy,
Okay.
in my opinion.
Hit me with it.
You guys, please, do what you want to do. Tell me what you want to tell me. To me, this comes down to the best player at the position of pure need, and we signed Irv Smith Jr., Emmanuel Forbes. The upside of a cornerback 1 replacing Eli Apple's burnt ass. And at absolute worst, guys, at absolute worst, we can let Mike Hilton walk.
True.
Emmanuel Forbes, to me, Josh, full transparency, if
You
he
loved
was 100, if he was 190 pounds, he'd be cornerback 1, not even close.
Right. And,
Six touchdowns in college. 6 touchdowns in college at cornerback.
And if
152 tackles.
If you give a
Fuck you,
guy
Dre.
a full off season training under a NFL training staff, there's a chance that he can add that kind of weight.
Can I give you all of Dre's comments so far?
Absolutely.
Oh, go
Sorry
ahead.
I'm late. Pens, winning, 401, 421, Big Hefe Carter. I'm with Greg. Spears will come in as a compliment back initially, but will earn carries. Compliments, I see round 3. Thank you, Greg. In quotations, either Concade or Mayor. I almost broke my laptop. Dre, Emmanuel Forbes to the Bengals. He ends up being a top 3 with Witherspoon and Gonzalez cornerback in this class. I think he's better than Joey Porter Jr. Forbes.
I think it's so crazy to hear you guys talk about certain players in that kind of thing. Because like Emmanuel Forbes was on a mediocre Mississippi State team. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's where my brain goes. You know what I mean? It's just kind
full
of
transparency. Sauce Gardner was on a team that doesn't, play in a good conference.
Right.
And yeah, I'm with you though, Josh, where it's like for you, the college football fan.
Right.
It's funny to hear these programs have elite players, but like I would also challenge you, Josh, where you love Devin Witherspoon in Illinois.
True. But also we haven't taken a Syracuse player yet. Like Syracuse was electric this year. You know what I mean? Like that's where I'm at. All right. Greg, you're up for the Saints.
My only worry about Forbes is he can add weight and not lose speed. Dre, so Josh, just so you know, we have a group chat. Me, Ping, Moorhead, Dre, Greg. And it's just draft.
Right.
Just draft.
That's what I would expect out of that draft.
And Dre, very vocally, and I want to word this correctly, we villainized Dre in the terms of what he said. Dre believes that
We love him,
Emmanuel
but it's
Forbes
easy to
has
villainize him.
durability issues in his tackling due to his size. My counter was he had 151, I think it was 152 tackles in the SEC and is fine. He then said Forbes can add weight and not lose speed, to which Greg sent his 40 time at the Pro Day versus the Combine, where he added about 5-10 pounds.
Right.
Like enough weight and had the same exact time. And Ping said, well, guess not. Dre has tried everything in his power to correctly state a 166 pound, 6'1" corner should not be great. And everyone else in the chat is absolutely enthralled by this kid. Myself, I think he is, to me, Josh, he's a ball hawk. He's a one-on-one guy. He's a tackler. He's everything I thought Greedy Williams was going to be, except that Greedy couldn't tackle.
Oh, okay, Greedy Williams would have been so good.
So
and we just came to the conclusion that Dre just hates skinny people.
So here's my combat to Dre is that Smith was supposed to be a bust too because he didn't have the weight, right?
Which Smith?
The Eagles wide receiver.
Devontae Smith, the Slim Reaper,
right?
Yes.
He was supposed to be a bust. He was hang on. He was supposed to be a bust, but the SEC, that's pro fucking football, baby.
Yeah.
So give me a guy out of any SEC program to play in the pros. Period.
You earn your weight at the pro level, Josh. I think you said it perfectly. So, all right, last 3 picks, guys. Greg, you're up for the Saints.
This one for me is going to be interesting. They lost a lot of guys on their defensive line. Might be a little bit of a reach in your opinion, Deke, but I think he might sneak in based on this. Give me Mozzie Smith from Michigan.
I don't think at this point, I don't think anyone's a reach, but my issue with Mozzie Smith, full transparency, is that his inflation hasn't come from Greg. So we get this late in the draft process, Greg, and the tape is the tape. The end of college football ended in February, right? Like, everything solidified from a playing standpoint happened.
Mm-hmm.
You then get into the intangibles. You then get into the combine. You then get into the meetings.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, the issue with guys that inflate that heavy after their tape wasn't significant is that I just don't believe that it's actually there. And Mozzie Smith was good during the season. Don't get me wrong. Like, Gervin Dexter, I talked about him sliding. Siaka Ika is up there in Baylor. Keanu Benton, a guy we all know and love and genuinely appreciate. And this DT class is not crazy. I like Jalen Redmond as a later guy out of Oklahoma. But for me, my issue with Mozzie Smith is we weren't even discussing his name mid-season or during the season at all out of Michigan. And we inflate him after the fact. And maybe you believe you were talking. I get that. And you and I maybe need to communicate better during the season. It's the tape ends. And then 2 weeks later, oh no, I love this guy. I love this guy so much. I can't explain. Anthony Richardson is a product of that though.
Yes, that's fair. Anthony Richardson's a great example of that. Mozzie Smith is, and first off, we can make that case too about Keanu Benton. No one was fucking talking about Keanu Benton during the season. It wasn't until the
Keanu
Senior
Benton's
Bowl.
not talking about the first round pick.
No, I'm not.
To be fair.
I think with Mozzie Smith, it's kind of like when you get into that late 20, early 30 range, it's kind of like it's really kind of a struggle to determine who is actually a first round pick versus like who you're trying to get an extra 5th-year option on in that case. That's where the talk with Dre is about how like it's not a surprise if Hendon Hooker goes late simply for the fact that like, hey, it's worth it to add a 5th-year option in this case. But I think also I'm playing to the fact of like the Saints, I have no idea who's going to be their starting defensive line.
Totally cool with that.
And I look at it from like, if I'm playing that defensive line category right there, give me a guy that I think is going to be durable enough to play most of the season as he was at Michigan with that regard. And
That's
can play, I think can play a 4-3 or 3-4 defense too.
Do you agree that that's a need over BPA?
You know what? Yes. This is one of the few times that I will say that I did, because here's the thing. The need is desperate.
Josh, the Philadelphia Eagles took Devin Witherspoon. They are up now.
So my offensive line got decimated in the offseason. And I've got a guy at offensive
Your
tackle.
secondary pieces did. The starters are all there, right?
Yeah, but like
I'm not disagreeing with your decision. I think you're making the right choice.
Okay.
I very much do. But decimated, Kelsey signed back on, Landon signed back on. They pulled all of the guys that everyone loved that were underneath that, who were the next guys.
Right.
I'm very much with you. I'm very much aligned with what you're doing. I was just making sure I wasn't missing a guy that was a current. That like Dillard is gone, right?
Yeah, but I mean that's so like So I'm the Eagles. My goal next year is to win a Super Bowl.
100%. I love the angle you're taking.
I've already added to my secondary, and I feel like the other place where I feel empty or like naked is at offensive line. I feel like my receivers are okay. I feel like now if you want to say Miles Sanders isn't the guy, fine. But I also don't think that Gibbs is the guy. You know what I mean?
Dre said, I was the first on the Hendon Hooker in the late first train. Dre, you very clearly were not paying attention at pick 5 of this draft, which you weren't here in your defense. When Hendon Hooker was brought up, and we did give you credit for Hendon Hooker being taken in the late first. We very much did, buddy.
Yeah.
Sorry, Josh. He's very sensitive about his takes.
Ooh. Give me Torrance out of Florida.
That's a absolutely amazing pick because he was about to go to the Chiefs.
It's tough. But I see because I don't
Is
think
it? Why is it tough?
I don't think Darnell Wright is a bad pickup either.
Agreed, but look at the positions.
True.
So
True,
you genuinely you look at your situation, Josh. You're filling Landon Dickerson at guard. You're filling Cam Jurgen below Kelsey whenever Kels moves. So you have Jurgens moving to center. Your other guard, you need a younger guy to fill Dickerson, Jurgen, him to have that interior strong. And then your tackles, you're looking at Johnson, Dillard moves on, and a couple guys. To me, the tackles that are left, which I know I'm kind of giving my card away, Darnell Wright and DeJuan Jones are the best left tackles available. Antoine Harrison is strictly a right tackle right now, which only feeds into left or, necessary secondary. Cody Mach and Breland and the guy out of Syracuse, Matt Bergeron, they're so aggressively late in the second round picks that I think you made the correct choice that Osiris Torrance is a run first aggressive guard. And Greg, keep me honest here. That's a great pick.
Yes, no, absolutely. And the way we've touched on this before with the way that the Eagles run their team in draft is that they go heavy on their depth. And they are so good at trench play, honestly. Their defensive line.
That was it, right, Greg? They gave Hurts time to do whatever he wanted to do, whether it was run or pass. He just sat back there untouched.
Yes. Now, granted, like we're not discrediting Jalen Hurts or anything in the way that he plays, but it does help when you have such a strong offensive line, and not just a starting five, just a strong unit overall to be able to make up for any issues with that. So yeah.
Good. All right. Deke.
Yeah, but you guys are also fucking morons. Nolan Smith goes to the Chiefs.
Idiots.
Arguably a top 10 talent going to the Chiefs here. Or Greg, realistically, look yourself in the mirror tonight and ask yourself if you're comfortable with me with the Chiefs taking a top 10 talent at the end of the draft.
Hang on, let
realistically.
me look at myself.
Josh, I can't express to you how much this is the Tom Brady of steals right now.
Oh, yeah.
This is arguably the best edge rusher in the entire class outside of Will Anderson. Going to the Chiefs here? Greg, what are we doing, bud? I even looked at the tackles.
It's because Nolan Smith, like, there's going to be knocks on him because he's undersized, if you want to go that route. Because if he's if you run a 4-3 team, odds are you're not going to make him a defensive end. He has to be a 3-4 outside linebacker, unless you want to convert him to like a weak side or money linebacker to that degree, which just doesn't work. So you need a team that runs.
That's a leader. That's a leader.
No. I'm aware. Trust me. Like Nolan Smith, I remember his run at Georgia. He was so good, but getting hurt really screwed him. Honestly,
fully
it really
understand.
did.
If he was, though, is the steal of the draft.
If he was healthy,
I rushed that in, Josh. If you couldn't tell.
Honestly, clearly. if he was healthy during that last run, he'd be a top 10 pick probably.
It's not even close. So I was going to go right because I was like, they need a tackle here. And then I was like, oh my God, I can't. Like Dre said, I'll never believe otherwise. We love you, Dre. Dre, comment on that pick right now, because to me, Josh, just so you know, this guy is very specific. So he's very much a demanding 3-4. Like he is, in my opinion, and tell me if I'm different, Greg, he is the TJ Watt, meaning a guy that presses immediately outside of bigger guys, but can be in coverage because he's quick, but needs to be secondary on top of meaty boys. I would almost switch my entire defense in favor of that guy. That's how highly I think of him. I would almost shift a 4-3 to a 3-4 for him.
That's some high praise on that part right there. But,
I mean, you
but
got
honestly,
Chris Jones, put him at defense, nose tag. What are we doing?
No. And honestly, like the talent is there. Like we've seen it. The year they won, the first year they won the Natty, when like they had just everyone on that team. Nolan Smith was arguably the best player.
And Dre said he would have taken him at the Steelers at 17 over. No, I don't know if over Branch, but he would have taken Nolan Smith across TJ Watt, which I love Highsmith. I think that's the right pick when you look at the upside.
If Nolan Smith goes to the Steelers on draft night,
I'll piss myself.
That'd be great content. Just saying.
Josh, thanks for doing that.
Hey, I hung in there.
No,
you did great. You did great, man. Like this, we tried to make it like as simple as possible with the interface, so like hopefully it helped to a degree.
And I genuinely appreciate the ability to stick around another hour without asking about it, guys. So thank you.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
oh shit! It has been an hour.
Yeah, it's about to be 7 o'clock in Laramie.
Time flies when you're having fun and you're 6 beers deep, Josh.
Oh, it's about to be 8.
It's about to be 8.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dre, thanks for being here. Everybody, thanks for tuning in, hanging out. I drank 4 pounders, so that's 8 beers, I guess, for Josh's Sanders. I'm gonna go let my dog go pee. Josh, you really did great from what I saw. Yeah, Josh, well done. That was a really
I didn't take one Wyoming player.
That was my only negative.
You were tempted,
yeah. I don't think.
Who's the beautiful blonde man we saw at the restaurant?
Oh, Frank Crumb's next year.
First overall pick next year. Every mock draft I did.
Yeah.
A stellar human, Greg. I'm all in.
Right tackle next year.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. He is going to, if I had to pick, he would be a wonderful selection for the Raiders next year.
They need O-line in the worst way
because
anyway.
They're gonna be that middle of the pack first. They're gonna be like around like 13, 14. He's gonna be a great Raider, Josh.
Okay.
That's my prediction. You heard it here first.
You're projecting mid-first round. Wow.
Yes, he's going to be pick 14 to the Las Vegas Raiders right tackle to cement the fact that Will Levis is, or no, Bryce Young. Bryce Young is their quarterback.
Bryce Young, yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
Greg, he's huge. I mean, like he's 6'8" and has arms.
He made me
like,
scared, Greg.
Like
not in like a he's gonna rob me, in like a he's gonna sit on me. Like.
Yeah.
Okay, that's terrifying.
Ladies and
I will be.
gentlemen,
I'm too thirsty.
Yes.
Yeah,
Make sure.
Sorry,
Make
Beans,
sure.
Beans very much.
All right. Say,
Make sure to
squeeze
listen
it
to our
out.
podcast on wherever you can get your podcasts, on Apple, Spotify, whatever. And make sure to leave us a 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5-star review to help with all the algorithms.
Well,
one's
you can
listening.
leave the other ones if we're doing bad.
That's true.
Say goodnight, you fuckers.
This is my
Good night,
dog.
you fuckers.